7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's start right out. Hey, what happened?
Is that better? Is that better, Locke? Is that significantly better? It feels like that one was better. It feels like that one was like a little tighter, if you will.
Yeah. The other one was 7 minutes long.
Yeah, and had some distractions, but I feel like that intro was a little bit better. I feel like we nailed that one. Anyway, morning. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Good afternoon. Welcome. It is time for the program, and as always, Bondezee is here. He's here once a week. It's Wednesday, so there he is. Yeah, he's got his cool new hat on. He's going to go to the skate park with the rest of the kids after this.
No, he just flipped hat.
It's fun of me because I have my skate hat here. I'm leaving this hat on.
Yeah, because you look like you're trying to be your kid. That's like, yeah, he's got
young at heart, Dean.
He's got the shark tooth necklace.
Dean, can you wear the
hat on?
The flat, whatever?
No, the brim. No, I can't. It's got to have a curve.
Yeah,
not much of a curve, but I need a curve.
Those hats do not feel good on my head. I mean, I do have a just visiting shaped head, but which might be part of the problem. But anytime I wear one of those flat, like I got to bend the shit out of it, or I got a big, huge mark on my forehead right here.
Yeah,
not good.
Real first world problem there. Cap issues.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I got a bunch of these for free, and I wear them. I rep them for Scramble Clothing, Scramble with a K. Great company, clothing company, and surfing company down in. They're out of Pennsylvania. Good guys. And
but you look like you're trying to hang, like you're dying to hang out with your kids.
Well, I am. He just landed here this morning from Toronto. So
did he? Okay.
So we'll be hanging for the next 3 weeks as we travel from Denver all the way to LA.
Right. Well, Bonzee's here. You can watch his podcast, which is called Tripping with Bondezee on YouTube, and you can also catch him here at Bondezee Live on Twitter. Lachlan's here from 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton. Morning host of The Locker Room. Maybe the biggest show in all of Alberta. That's what the ratings just said. Anyway, it's pretty close. No, seriously, it's huge. And look at this.
It's the most positive feedback I got about my ratings so far. So
there you go. I should be your boss. The voice of soccer in Canada, a guy who's busier than anybody in the whole world right now.
Hold on. You told me at the beginning of the fucking podcast that he made pies. You said we got a guy on that makes pies.
I'm getting
you didn't
there.
Tell me he was a broadcaster.
Dude, he's the voice of soccer in Canada. He has been for like 20 years. It's James Sharman, ladies and gentlemen. At James Sharman on Twitter.
Hey boys, I'm happy to be on. I know that all four of you really appreciate soccer and love it so much that it's nice to be with some kindred spirits here. So.
I actually do, Sharms, because my parents born and raised in England. I grew up playing it, watching it. I'm all go England and Man United. And
Bristol I'll give you that much, but there's two of us at least here.
Meet the pleaser in the group.
Yeah, he's the pleaser. He just said, what did you say? Another team, Bristol what?
Bristol Rovers.
Bristol
Way
Rovers,
down, like second, third division. But
Rovers not City, right?
Sorry,
Rovers not City.
Not City. No way.
Two teams in one city, and they don't like each other.
No, they don't. And I got to go to many games when I was a kid growing up there. So that was a pretty special experience.
I didn't know you're from England too. Were you born in England, Bondezee?
I wasn't born in England. My parents came here and I was born a year later.
Yeah. I came here when I was like 1. Sharms came here when he was 12, which is why he still sounds like a butler.
16, Dean, 16. There's a big difference there. Hey, listen, like I say, man, I got me a job and a wife, so I wasn't losing it.
Yeah. Well, listen, dude, I appreciate. Good to see it. And just to get to it, yes, James is a pie maker. So he's one of the great pandemic stories that you'll ever hear, right? Sharms, right before the pandemic, gets fired from Sportsnet along with everybody that had anything to do with soccer, like a year and a half prior to the Euro. So if you go on Sportsnet now, you'll see him all over Sportsnet, which is great. But I laugh every time I see you on Sportsnet. It's like, oh, they forgot the Euro was coming up, so they got to bring him back.
Conveniently as it was.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But it's great to see you.
Sharms, and you can lie if you want. We'll be able to tell. Did you have to take a pay cut to get your job back?
Well,
Yeah.
what the hell do you
No need
think?
to answer that. No
Hey, listen,
need
it's
to answer
a
that.
little short month-long window. I have no complaints, boys. I have no complaints.
Was it weird though? Like, was it weird coming back? Like when they phoned you and you knew Euro was coming up. You're doing a great job. I watched you with Timmy the other day. Timmy and Donovan Bennett, and I got nothing but love for all those guys, and I think it's great that you're back with them, and you've got some great magic and chemistry with Tim because you worked with him at the Score for a long period of time. But come on, when that phone rang and you're like, "Oh, you want me to come back, huh?" Tell me that wasn't the best.
Listen, I cover soccer in Canada, right?
Yeah.
The phone isn't ringing very often. All right, so
Fair enough.
I'm sitting there staring.
I knew
Come
you
on,
as a
someone
pie
call me!
guy.
Someone call me! No, I go so far back with those guys. It's all good, man. It was all very amicable, so I got no complaints, man. It's fun.
Well, it's awesome to see you do it, and like I said, he's more of a pie magnet now. Look at this little business he's got.
Holy shit!
Sharman's Proper Pies, savory pies, dessert pies. It's a pie club. You get a membership to this thing, and then you build your sample box. These are pre-made pies you shove in the oven and you brush with a little bit of butter, and you put them in for an hour at like 400, 420, whatever, and it comes out and you eat it, and it is like. There was the #1 pandemic
hold
food
on.
because it was so fucking easy. Yeah. Do you want to see some other ones? Look
You
at
have
this one.
sex with that first, then you eat it.
That spicy jerk looked amazing, man.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Locke doesn't know whether to
How do
eat
I?
it or
Can I
shove his
get those
junk
in
in it.
Alberta, Charms? Can I?
Not yet, no. But give us time.
Okay.
Give us
All right.
time. It's all about
Can you
expansion,
do me?
man. We'll get
Can
there
you
eventually.
send me a note on Twitter when you get them in Alberta?
100%. Yeah, we got
and
plans to go across the country. So yeah, absolutely.
Do you
Good
really?
for you.
Are you going to roll this out across country? Sharman's
Well, yeah, I mean,
Proper
we're
Pies?
going pretty much province-wide, hopefully by the end of the summer, or close enough anyway.
Yeah.
And then from there, we hope to, we've got enough family around the country that they're screaming at us to get out there. So give us time and we'll do it.
Well,
you
yeah, but
you got a good business when you can make enough money on the front end just selling to your friends and family.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It helps. That honestly, you joke though. That's why we kind of did this thing, because friends and family started saying, "Yeah, Christ, we'll buy these pies." And we thought, well, if you idiots would buy them, other people will as well.
Other
Right?
idiots.
So they kind
will
of
buy these
encouraged
pies.
us, So for once, family came good.
For once, the stupid family made you a buck.
Yeah, it came in
awesome.
handy. But
Good for
listen,
you.
this is one of those stories. So, Sharm starts this right before the pandemic, and everybody's like, "Dude, you just started like a restaurant, brick and mortar store in the middle of the pandemic." He's like, "I'll give it a try." He's got 2 locations now, and he went from delivering 30, 40, 50 pies here and there, hundreds a week. Hundreds and hundreds a week. It's like a burgeoning business. It's an incredible story. And this is a dude that did he was the voice of Soccer Across Canada, gets put out, pivots, and starts this pie company with his lovely wife. He calls her Mrs. Pies. She calls him Mr. Pies. And now they're like the biggest going concern for ready-made food and dinners in the city. It's fucking great. Just
Good
to
for
you.
I recommend
You know
it.
what, man? That's awesome. I love it. I'm glad, Dean. Thank you for telling stories like this, because I think we've heard enough bad news about what people have gone through. So it's nice to have a positive story like this. Charm, sorry to cut you off.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. No, it's it's been a bit of a crazy year, as you can imagine, but being laid off and then using that time constructively was a blessing, I guess, as well. Because
who's in charge?
Hey,
Who's in charge? You or the wife?
who the hell do you think?
Her, for sure.
Of course she is.
For sure.
Yeah, of course she is. She's the brains of the operation. I'm just a look.
Although
in the face.
she does let you have a beer fridge in the rec room. So
That's right. Yeah, this is my basement. Yeah, this is my man cave thing. Yeah,
not a horrible.
There's
thing.
a beer. I see a beer fridge and there's a keyboard too, and you can tell which one gets the most use.
Yeah,
it's the beer fridge.
Probably. Yeah. Well, listen, dude. I know you're busy, so we won't keep you. But I want to talk a little Euro. We got a couple of things to talk because we haven't talked soccer or Euro, and nor would I. And we had a no, seriously, if I didn't know you, I probably would just skate right past the Euro thing and Canada's World Cup qualifier and all that other stuff, which we'll get to. But it's big news, right? And the one thing that I got out of the World Cup, other than that Wales won, and I want to ask the difference between why the fuck England has England and Wales. Why are we putting 2 different countries in one country with 2? It's ridiculous. I want to get to that. But
and
the
why
one
don't
thing
they have sticks?
The Irish do with hurling, but it's different.
You are something else, Locke.
Where's the ball? Where's the basket? Is there a basket?
Man.
But
All
Cristiano
that running.
Ronaldo pissed me off the other day.
Oh, did he? He's good at
And
that.
I will, and I'm going to play. So he became the leading goal scorer in the history of Euro with a win over Turkey. Correct? He had a couple of goals. One was a penalty, which he scored on, and the other one was after like a 33 pass sequence or 34 pass sequence where he was the recipient of a ball at the end of it. And I want to just play you a little clip, and then I want to get your thoughts. Because after I watched him score both of those goals and make it all about himself, not that I'm a Ronaldo fan or not a fan, I thought, how the fuck can anybody love this game and like that guy? But watch this clip. Oh, that's the Eriksson collapse. Watch this clip. No, that's the own goal.
Third time's a charm.
Sharms, this is not Sportsnet.
But he scored. No, it's not. We don't care. But he scored 2 goals and made it all about him. And I it's not that I don't love the game of soccer, and it's not that I'm 100% jealous of Cristiano Ronaldo, how good looking he is, how much money he has, the kind of shape that he's in. But watching him make it all about himself, I thought, I wondered if does anybody like this guy outside of appreciating his unbelievable skill at the game.
This is awesome.
Is he there?
I don't see it.
Sharms, you got me? Can you hear me?
Hello.
No Sharms? No? I think he's going to probably try to log back in. I think we had one of those things.
Sometimes when you play video, it kicks me out too.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, I don't know why. And I thought maybe it might have just been like the Lachlan zone, but yeah.
Might have been.
Did you try to play the video?
Yeah. You there, Sharms? Can you hear us?
Yeah. It froze up on me. Did it? Yeah. You guys.
Here's the video. This is the video I was talking about. Sorry about that.
Even I saw that goal.
Yeah. Right. Nice goal. Nice goal. Bunch of passes. He runs to the other side of the stadium and starts making and pointing at himself like this. Look at me.
Don't they all do that though?
Yeah, but not like this. Like, do you like the guy?
No.
Ronaldo.
Sharms?
Okay, so see, me and him go way back as far as the fan base goes, because the Portuguese fan base and the Real Madrid fan base, where he played for years. We've had our issues, shall we say. And he's been very arrogant. He's a dive a lot. I disliked him a lot. But as his career's progressed, man, he's 36 years old now, right? He's done everything. He's done it all. He's one of the best of all time. And if anyone's going to be an arrogant prick, it can be him, right? Mm-hmm. In sports. He is that good. So now I do respect the guy. And actually, if you get the chance to speak to him, there's a great documentary on Netflix, actually, kind of fly in the wall stuff. He's actually a pretty down-to-earth guy, believe it or not. But he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got the looks, he's got the ability, he's loving life. He really is. And he is, arrogance aside, he is one of the best we've ever seen play the game. And he plays it the right way now. So I actually quite like him now, even though the Portuguese fans think that I hate him for some reason.
Yeah, there's no love lost between you and Cristiano Ronaldo fans, specifically here in Canada. If you follow James at all, or if you've, but I don't understand how anybody could have a sustainable like for the guy after watching him during his entire career. Like, you can appreciate how good he is, but the fact that he's as good looking as he is bothers me. The fact that he's got his own underwear line and looks really good in those underwear bothers me. The fact that he's got hundreds of millions of dollars bothers me. But what really bothered me was watching him basically treat his teammates like they weren't even fucking on the field with him after both of those goals.
Yeah, but that's what he does. I mean, that celebration is iconic, right? He's done it for years. He runs away from his teammates. He does his kind of spin in the air, put his arms up and says, it's all about me. That's what he does. And, he really embraces and sells that arrogance as a brand almost. And, bear in mind that a large part, maybe the majority of the soccer watching community love that kind of stuff, right? They love the bright colored boots, They love the socks up over the knees. They love the flopping and the diving. It's all part of the game, the theatrics of it, right? And he brings real theater to it. Now, the average Brit, like myself, doesn't understand that. We prefer the black boots and the short socks and don't you dare dive, and try and con the referee. So we don't understand that culture, but so much of the football world does love that culture. He is like the poster boy for it. So I think that's why. But, I haven't watched him now for 15 years. I mean, and how his game's evolved. He's 36 and he's just this beast, right? He's just even though he's not the player he used to be, he's still scored almost 30 goals in Italy this past season. He was the top goal scorer in Italy, right? He's 29 goals, I think he scored at 36 years of age. It's unreal. This guy will play till he's 40 at a high level. So nowadays, you just don't really see that.
See how healthy he is too. He takes his health really seriously. He literally locked. Did you see this?
This is a great video.
He wiped off Coke $4 billion from Coke's bottom line, their net worth, with this video that he did post game. Watch this video. After he did what I'm going to show you, Coke was worth $4 billion less. No word of a lie.
That is great, isn't it? Give him credit.
Do you know what he did?
Ballsy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Euro is sponsored by Coke. So in the press conferences, everybody has to have a Coke bottle there, right? And a water bottle. He walks in, takes the Coke, because he's such a fitness freak, I guess, takes the Coke, moves it out of the way, holds up, he goes, water, drink water. Everybody drink the water. Don't drink that shit. Drink water. Within 5 minutes of that, Coca-Cola worldwide was worth $4 billion less.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine having that kind of power?
Imagine the IOC, at the Olympics, they protect their sponsors so they would fine the guy so much money. Now UEFA, a little bit scared of him, I guess. I think he has so much power, right? And he can make them look so bad. They haven't done anything so far, but I give him credit for that, right? I mean, hey, listen, he believes in what he believes in, right? And look at the guy. He's the poster boy for his own personal beliefs, clearly. He doesn't drink pop, doesn't drink Coke. So, hey, it's a guts. Not many players can do that.
It's not even that. It's just that he didn't even want to be shot with Coke in the scene, which is very, very ballsy, right? Because he knows Coke's a sponsor, so it's interesting. Yeah. Hey, Sharms, what did you think of that statue a couple years ago?
Love that one. It was great. It must have driven him crazy because it was so bad, right? It's an ugly statue. I know they recommissioned they actually ditched it, right, and they recommissioned another version of it, I'm sure, because he was not happy with it at all. I mean, he looked overweight in it. It was the funniest thing. It's one of my favorite moments actually covering sports, I think, that statue unveiling. Like, what the hell is that? Quasimodo's unveiled that. Wow.
That guy, he deserved it, though. I loved every second of it.
Dude, he looked like a thalidomide baby.
He had some flippers, I think, for sure.
Did he not? Well, you were watching that where you're like, my God, that guy looks exactly like a thalidomide baby.
I remember the piece they sent down on the news feeds around that unveiling. They actually interviewed the artist. And he was there on the left. And they interviewed him, right? And he was so proud of his work, and this is before the controversy hit, saying, I was a huge fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. It was a real honor for me to try and sculpt it. And then this comes out, right? It's like something you find at Easter. It's horrendous.
Looks like it's been a little too much time in the microwave.
Do you remember when Zika virus was a thing, and these babies were born with like these weird, massive heads,
huge
and
heads,
little eyes? Yeah, that it looks like a Zika virus version of Cristiano Ronaldo. Does it not?
That had a half stroke.
Yeah,
and thalidomide. Yeah,
that looks more like me on the left.
Yeah, and then
my
you see
eyes
him
are
on
really
the right.
close together like that.
And if you're as vain as he is, he's got to be a pretty vain guy, right?
Yeah, listen, they're just rumors. Apparently, there's a lot of mirrors in his house, put it that way.
Are there really?
And in fairness, if you look that way, I guess you'd have a lot of mirrors in the house.
What are some of the rumors that you're more apt to believe about how weird Cristiano Ronaldo is? Like about his diet or the way he is? Like, you've got to know some stuff because you're in
not
this,
really.
Dude.
I mean, he's actually a very private guy. Believe it or not, he's got the public brand, which he puts out there a lot, the commercials. But he's actually a very private person. He's raising his son by himself. A couple of kids now, I think. And honestly, if you get a chance to watch the documentary on Netflix, it's actually very, very good, whether you like soccer or not. It takes you inside what it's like to be a superstar like him. And he does come across as being very down to earth and a pretty regular guy. But it's funny that the very first scene in that documentary was him flying towards the ceremony to get the Ballon d'Or, which is basically the MVP of the world, best football player in the world. And basically it came across that that was more important to him than even winning a Champions League, with a team necessarily. It's those individual awards mean so much to him. And that rivalry with Lionel Messi, which has been, 10, 15 years now in the making, is fantastic. It's all about having more Ballon d'Ors than Messi, and winning more trophies than him, which I found interesting. Uber competitive guy on the field for sure, but also for those personal accolades as well.
Yeah, that's the guy you want on your team. A guy who doesn't give a fuck about the team accomplishments.
Hey, when they're that good, though, you take him.
Ultimate team sport, though, Sharms. Honestly,
soccer.
like that. You don't win without a good team.
No, you don't. You don't.
It's comparable to hockey.
Very similar, yeah. But in hockey, there's less. Less players on the ice. I guess there's more room for a superstar to do his stuff. Is it the ultimate team sport? I guess so. Maybe rugby. Having played rugby, my for many years, superstars in rugby, they're the stars, but they're not uber superstars like soccer, for example. You can't win a game by yourself in rugby, for example. Whereas I think soccer and hockey are probably very similar comparisons. If you've got a Conor McDavid in your team, you're going to be pretty well. I'm going to say you're going to be pretty good. Maybe not Edmonton. Sorry, but you should be. You should be. Whereas
Locke has just finally got over this whole madness with Edmonton and stuff. So careful, you got to tiptoe around Locke and Edmonton Oilers.
While you're tiptoeing around, you might want to look around to see if there's any Leaf memorabilia hanging behind Bondezee.
I'm in a hotel in Denver. It's impossible.
That doesn't mean you didn't drag shit down there to hang up there to cry.
That's true.
At.
Yeah, I'm sure you got your stupid Leaf flag on your rental car right now, just hanging out the window.
No, I don't. I buried all my Leaf stuff.
Let me see your fucking keychain. Pull your keychain out.
It's actually got the Tragically Hip on it. I'll show you.
Attaboy, repping the new hip. Yeah. Not a boy.
No, that's not bad.
So while we're on the tip about Euro, so I'm enjoying Euro kind of. I know Wales and Turkey played today. Wales won 2-0, and it dawned on me as a British citizen, why the fuck does Wales have a team in the Euro Cup when it's in the heart of England? I don't like. It's like Canada having a World Cup team and going, let's send Quebec as well.
Well, there's a different conversation entirely, Dean. Scotland's there too, right?
That in hockey?
Yeah, Scotland's there, but it's Wales. It's part of fucking England. And I saw one of your tweets. You're like, I divorced my wife and try to marry that Gareth Bale pass if I could today. And I'm like, wait a second. Good. I thought Gareth Bale played for fucking England. And then I'm looking. I'm like, hold it. He plays for Wales. And then it dawned on me that I've never had a problem with this until today, that Wales and England are the same fucking place, yet they get equal representation at the Euro in the world.
If you go to Wales, it is a different country. For many years, people thought it was just what they call a principality, not a country per se. But I think about 10 years ago now, they went to court or something. Someone said, no, it is a legitimate country, even though they pretty much use the same government as England. They do have some self-governance as well. I don't know, Dean. I'm not a politician, man. Why are you asking me? I happen to be.
You got an accent.
I was born in England and lived there for a few years. Like, Jesus.
He's very passionate about the difference between the two countries. Is he not?
Seems that way. I wonder why that is. Is there some anti-Welsh sentiment there?
Well, I just didn't get it.
Something happened, Dean.
As someone, no, nothing's happened. I don't have anything against the Welsh. I've got nothing against Gareth Bale. I know it's a beautiful piece on the coast, and that's lovely and nice. And
it's beautiful.
Prince of Wales is Chucky, and that's really cute and nice.
Catherine Zeta-Jones
is from Wales. Yep. Mm-hmm. But it's England. It's in England. I don't understand why you guys get three looks at this whole thing.
I think most Englishmen would be happy to say, yeah, we'll take Wales, but not one Welshman would say, yeah, we'll be part of England. They are proud. They are proud.
Couldn't England use some of the Welsh players on their team to be a better team?
One.
Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
That's it.
They'd use him. Yeah, that's it. Maybe Aaron Ramsey, perhaps, but he's always hurt. So I'd say, yeah. That's why, it's funny, the Olympics, you have Great Britain, right? They compete as one, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, England. But then when it comes to soccer, it's always individual. It's mainly because we don't want their players.
Players are shit.
Yeah. Kind of. Well, have been for many years. I mean, there's the odd one here and there, and there's been. I mean, listen, I'm having fun there. There's been some great. Well, there's been some pretty good Scottish teams over the years, right? And I would take their left back in a second right now, to be honest with you. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know why they break it up individually. I guess because originally, Great Britain, England invented the game, invented soccer, and England, Scotland, Wales have been very distinct for forever. So the first international was England against Scotland, for example, the first ever international soccer match. So maybe that's why. But it's funny how the Olympics, they group together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I was looking at all the different groups, too. You got Group A, B, C, D, and then, of course, E, and then, strangely, Group F. Now, Group F, I know it's weird because it's alphabetical, Locke. I know it's hard to understand.
I'm trying to follow that, Locke. I'm following. I'm still here. I haven't started drinking yet.
Group F is that what they call the group of death? Is that Portugal, France, Germany, Hungary? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's traditionally what they call the toughest group in these tournaments.
Okay, so that group of death, Portugal and France, they both won. Germany lost. Slovakia and Spain are at the top of Group E. The Czech Republic and England, top of Group D. C is Austria and the Netherlands, which I don't know if any of these are surprises. But are you surprised at anybody so far? 1 or 2 games into Euro, like are you shocked at anybody in the draw at all? Like, are you surprised at?
Not really. No, I mean, to be honest with you,
that Poland lost. Are you shocked that Scotland and Croatia lost?
The one theme, in the opening, not even a week, 5 days of the tournament has been that the top teams are generally the top teams. They've shown to be the best teams. There's a gulf between them and the rest. The one, I guess, Turkey was seen as a dark horse by a lot of people.
Yeah,
they've been poor so far. 0 points, lost again today. So there hasn't been a surprise yet. There hasn't. Now it's going to be hard.
Did you notice there's a player that plays for Turkey that looks exactly like Danny Dichio? Your co-host on Footy Prime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's a nutcase as well.
Yeah, looks exactly like your co-host on Footy Prime, the podcast, Danny Dichio, who's a legendary English footballer and in charge of the academy here at TFC. But I looked at him and I'm like, oh my fucking God, that guy looks exactly like Dichio. I wonder if Sharman's seen it.
Basically, you get tall, fit guys and they shave their heads and they all look the same, right? Basically. That's what you do.
I could be an exception to that rule.
I said tall and fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll work on the fit.
So everybody has kind of been what you expected them to be after a couple of games. Tell me about England's chances, because every year the same song and dance. If I had a dark horse in this, it would be England, because it's the country of origin for me. I was born there. It would be nice to see. It's like when Canada wins Olympic gold, right? Like in hockey, it would just be a really nice story to see England win this thing.
So to use a comparison with hockey, right? So England is the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? They've won diddly squat since the 60s,
100%.
right? 60s, they were great, and they won a World Cup and they won Stanley Cups. And since then, they've got all the money, all the resources, a fervent fan base, but perhaps at times an unrealistic fan base, and very much a self-loathing fan base
that
as well.
That doesn't sound like the Leafs at all, Charles.
Not at all, nah.
Yeah.
But that's what they are, England. But that being said, and here we are now in 2021, and you got this young group coming through who have yet to win anything, but they've got a hell of a lot of potential. And could they win this Euro? They're good enough, I think, to win it. But will the ghosts of the past haunt them? Will they, crumble mentally when the going gets tough? Sound familiar again? So, England's a really good team. They're a favorite for sure. But I think what it comes down to is if they advance, which they likely will advance from the group phase, they're going to play either Portugal or France, the world champions, in the first knockout round. And I don't think they're good enough to beat those two teams. They might be the third best team or the fourth best team, but they won't get through those two teams, I don't think. But it's a good time to be an England fan because the kids coming through are good. They're actually likable. In the past, that hasn't always been the case. They seem pretty down to earth, and they're playing for big clubs with the best coaches in the biggest tournaments right now. So they'll only get better.
What's the usually with the World Cup or the Super Bowl, you can expect a flotilla of hookers and hooligans. right? At these things. Which country, because this is all over Europe, which country would you think, if you're gonna attend a Euro match, would have the best hookers, the most interesting hooliganism?
I would imagine St. Petersburg, Russia.
Oh yeah,
wouldn't you think?
I would think so. Yeah,
Baku in Azerbaijan is actually hosting games too, and I don't know anything about Baku, Azerbaijan, but I assume it'd be a lot of fun to go to visit.
Yeah. I would think it would be, but I was doing some reading.
You're doing a lot of work to convince me that you don't know anything about the hookers in those places, Charms. Good work. You can play this for your wife.
Okay, out of experience, the hookers in Baku are amazing. You know, they're cheap, they're giving, so yes.
Good for you, James. Good for you.
Lock, good catch there. Good catch. He's blindly listing off a few places that may or may not have the best hookers in all of Europe, and there is Locke going like he doesn't know.
There goes that pie business.
Yeah, exactly.
She's sole owner now.
Yeah, it's all hers. In the settlement, she'll get the business. That's for sure.
I was reading about prostitutes that were coming from, and again, I mean, I'm not saying this because it's fun to beat up on Russia, but Russian prostitutes that were looking forward to making upwards of $100,000 a week.
What?
In some centers where they're actually hosting some of these Euro games, and I'm like, what?
Bondezee,
$100,000 a
for
week?
Career change, buddy.
Well, I was just going to say, Ross, are you flying over to Europe? Because your reaction was like, well, I can make 6 figures, maybe sucking a dick or two.
Yeah,
It's going to take me 4 years to make $100,000.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, $100,000, and all you'd need is a toothbrush and a terrible memory to get over it.
All right, I got a toothbrush, and I've been drinking my way through
Got the drinking problem.
this bad memory thing.
Drink it away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but isn't this it's a thing? It's a proliferation of prostitutes that come with this, that travel with. And I was reading about it. They travel with the hooligans that come with each country when they're going to each event.
Well, they need a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I mean, there's fewer fans traveling, right, because of the COVID pandemic, right? These aren't full stadiums, so maybe they are the forgotten victims. We talk about the bars and the restaurants who are missing out on their income. Well,
what about the hookers? Good point, Charms. What about the hookers?
You don't hear.
I think that's a question we should all be asking ourselves this morning.
I wonder how fast. I wonder how fast I can get that bus to Europe.
So,
get some flotation devices on that thing, buddy, and start paddling.
This is a little flutter board.
I'm on my way to the Euro.
I want to ask you, because we're obsessed with Euro. Canadian men's soccer team, the national men's soccer team.
Not in Euro.
Are we in this?
For the first time? No.
Okay,
not
good.
At all. No, Quebec is at the Euro. We decided to send Quebec, but they qualified for a qualifier to qualify for the World Cup for the first time in like
I thought our
24 years. Is that
soccer.
they do? They're ranked 70th in the world, but
Terrible.
they don't suck so much anymore. And I was, like everybody else, a little flabbergasted that you can't watch any of, like, I want to see Davies. I want to see him play. I want to see David play. These guys are superstars in the leagues that they play in, and worldwide they're superstars. They're playing in front of like 4 people in Chicago, 12 people in Haiti to qualify for these. These are, and I'm watching these guys who probably can't walk down the street in Munich, specifically Davies, probably can't walk down the street in Munich.
Right.
And they're basically trying to qualify for the Olympics, and they've played 4, I think, matches over the past little bit, maybe 16 over the past couple of years to get qualified.
They essentially what they've done. So they've qualified now for the final qualifying round, which is called the Octagon, right? Which is where the games get tough. Now they will start in September, so hopefully by then they're allowed back in Canada to play in front of full stadiums, which touch wood will happen. But up until now, they've been playing in Chicago and Bradenton. That's been their home base, essentially, because of the pandemic, which has sucked. But they've been playing some really bad teams, right? Like Cayman Islands, Bermuda, Suriname, and then Haiti in the last 2 games, right? Which
did you see the own goal last night?
The kid was born. The goalkeeper was actually born in Montreal. It was the worst. It was the worst own goal I think I've ever seen by a goalkeeper.
Locke, you got to see this. I know you're not a soccer guy.
I don't watch any soccer, if I'm being honest.
This poor kid. So Canada's killing these guys on aggregate. This poor kid, 21, goes in net for Haiti, which Haiti, not a great country to live in. It's not like people are going, "Ooh, let's travel to Haiti." It's a tough country to grow up.
Here they get
right?
good weather.
Yeah, excellent weather. Yeah. But look at this own goal that this poor kid scored. Canada won, and everybody celebrated. But I fucking felt so bad for the guy. Watch this. This might be the worst own goal I've ever seen in my life. This happened yesterday. This is to go to the Olympics, maybe.
World Cup.
Or sorry, the World Cup. Look at this. Look at this. He's like, okay, I'm gonna just get that. Oh, hang on. Better go back and get it. Oh, just a second. Oh.
Oh, wow. He looks like I did.
I hadn't seen that yet.
Oh, it's
that's
unreal.
Why that's why Dad put a stick in my hand.
Oh, people have so much sympathy for him, and I don't. I mean, Canada has been screwed over by these kind of things for years in this region, right? Bad refereeing calls, bad mistakes, and it's such a tortured fan base that finally something goes right for it like this. We should be happy and celebrating. None of this sympathy nonsense for the guy. Too bad.
You didn't feel sorry for him, Sharms?
No.
I can't believe you're a bigger asshole than me.
I like this Sharms
there's
guy.
times. I have my moments.
I like this guy.
It's just usually Canada being screwed over by these kind of things, right? And this time it wasn't.
Beautiful.
So, hey.
Yeah. We were on the receiving end of some kindness from the gods, the soccer gods. But yeah, ranked 70th. And dude, like if we can qualify for the Olympics, that might change soccer in the course of soccer in Canada because it's been a fucking embarrassment for 50 years. No,
Soccer's massive.
Dude, it really isn't.
Not like it is
it's
overseas.
big as far as lots of kids play the game. Grassroots is big here, but as far as forming a football soccer culture, it's miles off.
If it starts knocking hockey off TV, then I'm going to have a problem. Let the kids play it. Fine. They need exercise. Get them out of the house. They're watching too many screens anyway.
These were some of Canada's best soccer moments in the last quarter century, and it wasn't even televised.
No, I know.
It's tough.
And I'm okay with that.
Toronto, they won a couple years ago. That was fun to watch. I thought the stadiums were packed.
You talking about FC?
Yeah.
That's not real soccer.
Yeah. No, the club football scenes, in Montreal and Vancouver and in Toronto, it's pretty... it's good. The fan base is growing, but we're still not there. I mean, listen, who knew about that game last night in the general Canadian sporting community? Not many.
Guy.
Yep. Well, there you go.
This guy, because I was watching you and Timmy on Tim and Friends last night, and I'm like, oh, I got to watch that game tonight.
We do our best to grow it.
Don't our women do well? I thought
the women have traditionally been a very good team. Not the best team. They got a couple of bronze medals at the Olympics. But they're a good team. But now the guy that coached the women's team to those successes is now coaching the men's team, John Herman, and he's doing a really good job. This Canadian team, and they got some superstars in the making there. Some stars right now, and Alphonso Davies, as Dean mentioned there, Bayern Munich won the Champions League last year.
From Edmonton?
Yeah, originally, yeah, that's right.
Is he really?
Yeah, I recognize that name.
Well, he came originally, and then a refugee went to Edmonton, and then the Vancouver Whitecaps snapped him up, and then about 2 years later, Bayern Munich got him, and he's just incredible. Jonathan David plays in France for the champions there. There's some really good players: Atiba Hutchinson, Carl Laren, champions in Turkey. So for the first time since I've been following Canada, you have some guys who are true stars in the attacking sense of the word. So it's fun to watch right now. It is, but they've beaten no one yet. They've got to beat now the likes of the USA, Mexico, Honduras, and Jamaica. So forget about Mexico and the States. They're just at a different level right now. But Honduras and Jamaica, why not? It's possible. A qualification for the World Cup next year. It's doable. And then you're right, that would change everything if they qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, it's something to be proud of. If you're a soccer player and you're a kid, you're going to root for your home team, right? Like you see how rabid people are at Euro. You see how rabid people are at the Worlds. And those are countries where they've had a successful program, so they're proud of it. We just haven't. So I'm excited to see what happens. Before I let you go, James, Zach Hymen, Morgan Rielly, not expected back with the Toronto Maple Leafs next year. I don't know. We could talk about everything, but we got to bring it back down to the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the reason why, and Myrtle just put it out on The Athletic. If anybody's asking for where I got this from, that's where I got it from. But that not expected back next year. You and I have had a couple of conversations. So there's about $12 million there. If they don't re-sign both of those guys, they have to play with. Rumors are getting a little louder that maybe Mitch Marner might not be part of the plan going forward. I would love to get your thoughts because no goals in 18 straight playoff games. His size bothered me. There are a lot of players out there that are on 2-3 year deals that I would love to see playing next to Austin Matthews that are a little bit grittier, that are bigger bodied, that play that kind of playoff kind of hockey. I would love to get your thoughts because it is sacrilegious to talk about whether or not Mitch Marner is trade bait or not because he's a Toronto guy and we all love him. But to me, if the Leafs want to shake it up, that is a fucking massive chip that they could play.
Yeah, that's the one, right? I mean, despite his playoff inadequacies so far, he's still a guy that was an 100-point, season, over a full season. And I mean, he's young and he's on obviously big money, but I'd still be stunned if they did it this offseason, given what Carl Dubas was saying at the postseason press conference, saying, we want them back for another year. But if someone calls you up and offers you something, great in return. I mean, there's a Seth Jones deal. Is that out there to be made at some point? That might be something to look at some point. So I don't know. When they crashed out, I was pissed off. I was furious.
In the first round?
I was really upset again. The emotion kind of blinded me a little bit. But then as the emotion wears off and I think to myself, well, they did get their looks and they didn't get any puck luck. And Tavares was out for the whole series. Maybe give him one more.
You sound like an Oilers fan. Are you sure you're not an Edmonton?
Oh God. Maybe give him one more year and try and don't surround them with grandfathers. Get some younger guys with a bit of energy out there, maybe to help those third and fourth lines. But
you mean the fourth line, the grandfathers, the only line that did anything in the 4 games that you guys?
Yeah.
Well, Joe Thornton didn't do a whole lot. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
Thornton didn't do much. Simmons didn't do much, but the Leafs literally an hour ago just signed Spezza for another year.
Have they really?
Yeah.
Here's what I think you guys should just ease into and be comfortable with as far as Leaf fans. If there is any trade rumors at all, regardless of who it is, apparently they're all going to Toronto. So you guys have nothing to worry about.
That is so true. I know. It's crazy this time of year, isn't it? It's the same thing with soccer, though, right? You watch Euro, and everybody's
going to Real Madrid.
You have a good game, and he's been linked with Manchester United, with Real Madrid. Like, oh Jesus Christ, man! The agents are just loving this right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of Real Madrid, I just got an right here. It says Captain Sergio Ramos is leaving the club after 16 years. Real Madrid.
Really? That is huge.
Just announced right now.
Wow. I mean, he's one of the bad boys of soccer as far as on the pitch is concerned. He got dropped for Spain for the Euro, which is a huge deal, and for him to leave Real Madrid, that's a big deal in the soccer world because he's a great player. He's won it all, but he's a bit of a prick as well, so I'm not really that surprised.
We break news on this pod all the time.
I'm very impressed, man. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
One soccer can lick it. We just nailed the Sergio Ramos leaving Real Madrid, and we don't even talk about soccer. We just killed it. He's also the best-looking soccer player to ever play the game, according to a friend of mine who loves the game, Ajwa. She said Ramos is by far the best-looking soccer player, better looking than Ronaldo. Better looking than Paul Gascoigne.
That's not hard to do.
Better looking than Dicchio. Better looking than all the guys.
I don't know about that. I can't comment on Sergio Ramos's aesthetics, but he was a good footballer, put it that way.
Yeah, no, I can't. He's a good-looking dude. But listen, Sharms, really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Footy Prime is the name of his podcast. He does it with legendary TFCer and England footballer Danny Dicchio, Brendan Dunlop, Dan Wong, and I think he got another cat in there.
Oh, that guy, Craig Forrest.
Forrest.
Just only played for Canada for 50 times.
Forrest. You know why I love talking to Forrest? He and I talk sometimes on DM. And you know what we talk about? Vaping.
Weed.
Yeah. Vaping, anything. Vaping weed, vaping tobacco. Like I'll get a DM from Forrest. This is like one of Canada's greatest soccer players in the history of the game. And I'll get to say, hey man, I got a great deal on e-juice at this new vape store. You should go and check it out. It tastes like strawberries. I'm like, Hey, Craig, thanks, man, for the heads up. I'll order it today. Did you know that you can get a brand new volcano vaporizer for cannabis flower for $49.99 right now with this link? And he's like, no, thanks. I'm off to order it immediately. Like, we literally have smoke. And I said to him, we should have a smoking podcast.
Yeah, he would love that, actually. He is a connoisseur, man. He knows his stuff. The two of you just talk weed or just smoke weed, either or.
Well, it's not even just the weed. It's the inhaling of something. Like, I enjoy vaping, and I know he does too. And I said, what do we like about it? He goes, I just enjoy taking it in. I don't know what it is, but I've always been like that.
Can we
and
stop
as a
talking
profession,
about this?
What? Oh, because you miss smoking?
Oh, I get twitchy every time you guys go on a run on this stuff.
Poor Locke.
I haven't had a cigarette since 2008, November 7th, 2008. And I still think about it almost every day. Yeah.
You don't smoke pot, Locke?
No, because I'm too worried about getting back. Like, I'm a puff away from a pack a day. Like, I hit the cigs hard.
He's an honorary Brit, is what he is.
Yeah. I smoked back in the day when you could smoke at work and on air. So I had a cigarette going while I was on the air. Wow. LJ the DJ in Edson, Alberta, spinning the platters that matter. Here's more Sting.
Here's Gowan. Let me light my player's light.
Oh no! Back in the day, I was on Golds. I was on the Export A's. Yeah,
all the hard stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I didn't mess
Export
around.
Green. Remember Export Greens? That's what Forrest would
those
smoke.
Those were a
He'd
little harder than
greens
than I smoked. Those and the Players Filter were wicked. Every once in a while, I'd grab a pack of Players Filter and just like. Whoa.
Just to try, just to see how much you could take, right?
Yeah.
I know that one. You get
slows your smoking down a bit.
Yeah. Sharm, thanks for doing this. At James Sharman on Twitter. Footy Prime is the name of the podcast. You can get it at DeanBlundell.com. You can also get it wherever you get your fine podcasts. It's Canada's #1 soccer podcast, and it is very, very good. They do. If you're betting on any of these games, they've partnered with Sports Interaction to help you make some money. So if you want to go put some cheese on the game, what you need to do is go check out James Sharman's Twitter account at James Sharman, and you can get odds for all these games too, which is actually really cool. It's one of the great things that you guys are doing. It's called.
Do they bet on soccer too?
Oh yeah,
believe it or not, yeah, it happens.
Crazy, awesome, yeah,
big time. Anyway, thanks for doing this, bud.
Thanks, boys. That's fun. Anytime.
Sharm, take care, my friend. It was really nice meeting you. Good luck with the pies.
Thanks so
Get
much,
him to
man.
Alberta.
Yeah,
Get him to
I'll
Alberta.
endeavor to do so.
All right, bud. I'll talk to you soon. James Sharman from Footy Prime, the podcast, and of course Sharman's Proper Pies. Should I show these to you one more time, Locke?
Holy shit! Look at those.
Just unreal.
Look how good those are.
You know what you do with his pie too? Is you
I already told
you.
You
Brush a
stick
little
your
butter
penis
on
in it.
No, you don't.
No,
You brush a little butter on it, and then you put it in the oven for an hour, and you pull it out, and then you eat it.
Dude, how many of these have you had?
40. Seriously, during the pandemic, it was the easiest thing in the world to do. They're like, Sharms, can you send me like 5 pies? He's like, all right, you little fucker. And I'm like, thanks, buddy. And so he'd show up with the pies. We'd have a smoke. He'd leave. We'd have a coffee. But the steak and cheese to die for.
I'm with Bondezee. I want that jerk chicken pie.
Chicken balti to die for. I haven't had the jerk chicken. That's new. He's working on a pizza pie, like literally a pie like that. That's that big.
Amazing.
That's self-contained. You put it in the oven. You pull it out an hour later.
Lord.
You're eating a massive pizza pie.
And so this was a business he started in Toronto.
Yep. Pandemic business. Him and his wife.
So guys know about this, right? Obviously.
Huge.
So if you're in Ontario, people probably know about Sharm's pies.
Order it. Yeah, they do. They love Sharman's pies.
Yeah, I like literally. I swear to God, if I was in Ontario, I'd be on that webpage right now, having them delivered to my house. Dude, I would be all.
Look at the steak and cheese.
Look at
the steak. It's just like a poutine pie.
Right?
Look at that. Lord. The spicy jerk. Look at they come in these little individual pies too, so you can like have a like a individual pie for lunch. You don't need to commit to making a whole one.
It must be the Scottish Irish in me, but I am just like frothing at the mouth when you show pictures of those.
Me too. Hey, are you guys going to go to the second inauguration while you're down there, Bondezee? You're in Colorado, right? That's where you are?
Yeah, right in Denver right now. We're downtown Denver.
In August?
Yeah, it's in August. Donald Trump's second Second inauguration is in August.
You held on to that quite well, actually.
Not bad. As everybody involved with Q and conspiracies know, Trump got shafted.
No, just behind the scenes, they're taking some time to work out some of the things, and he'll be back in office in August.
Hey, Bondezee, do you talk to people down there? You're in Colorado right now.
Yep.
Do you talk to people down there that think that August 15th, 2021, that the second inauguration of Donald Trump as president of the United States is going to happen with special guest musical stars, Ted Nugent and Kid Rock?
Kid Rock. A hundo P, dude. Hundo P.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with somebody last night that is didn't get the vaccine, 100% believes Trump got robbed. He was a way better president, and that and then Biden is going to be out. So it's a thing. It's
like you sit and talk to people. How do you broach this subject? By the way, just so you know,
$1,200.
$1,200 to go to it. This amazing event. But the good news is, again, you get to see hit makers like the Nuge and Kid Rock. But they're selling these online to people.
I'd go to that concert
for between $1,200 and some have sold for $2,200. So $1,000 over 50. People are actually buying tickets to this event. People are being convinced that this is going to happen.
Where's it being held at? Does anybody know? Sorry, Locke.
No,
I think Chuck E. Cheese.
In front of the Capitol
it's being held in front of the Capitol steps.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Here's so generic. Here's the thing, and I told you guys
that's like me sending you guys a party invite saying, "Hey guys, I'm having a party. It's in the park.
It's by a tree."
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I told you guys about somebody that we know in the peripheral of our work circle who is total like thinks that the vaccine lets off, I don't know, what is it, DNA particles. He thinks his parents, because his dog, his childhood dog that he grew up with, he thinks it died because his parents got the vaccine, and he's not joking around. So somebody in our group thought it would be funny, and I still don't know whether or not I don't want to give the guy credit for doing this, because I also kind of feel bad for the guy, because I think he's sick. I think there's something wrong. Like I think something's come unloose in his head.
Whatever would give you that idea.
But Dean, he phoned him up, got him on the phone, and bet him $1,000 that Donald Trump will not take office again in August. And the guy took the bet.
Wow.
And this is somebody we know. I have been in the same room with this guy.
I know him, or you know him?
No.
You
I
and
know
your
him.
friends know him in
But
Alberta.
I'm telling you, we all know somebody that thinks this, guys. Dean, you know somebody in your circle of friends. It might be your brother's buddy or something. Like it's somebody in your group. Bonzee's living with a bunch of them, but
Bondezee might be one of them.
I'll plead the fifth.
So very good chance Bondezee is one of these people. And I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying is that as ridiculous as it sounds, that Donald Trump is selling tickets to his second inauguration. It's in front of the Capitol steps if you're walking by. But if you don't want to just walk by and see this, it'll cost you 1,200 bones.
I like it.
And I know
it's lower level in front of the. So these were a joke, weren't they? Or are they actually selling?
You know, they're a joke, and I've got some details as far as where these things came from. A Twitter user pointed out that the photo was manipulated to include the event information using a stock photo from a website called 123rf.com, where you can put anything you want in a blank ticket. So they've actually, like the center part where it says the second inauguration of Donald Trump as president of the United States, that's actually just superimposed. So the ticket on the outside is real, but the price on the ticket and the actual stuff inside that has some of the details with the Nuge and Kid Rock, those are just photoshopped. It's like a meme. It's like a meme generator. You can generate anything you want. Yeah, but it's fucking, dude, it took me 5 seconds to find this. Like none of it's real. But there are people out there that are looking at these tickets going,
trying to buy them.
it's happening. I can't believe it. We've been right all the time, because they see this online, right? And then they go, honey, it's happening. You keep telling me I'm crazy, but look at these tickets.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I do have friends like that. My friend's wife is like this.
Yeah.
I went over to her house one day and she's like, hey, you'll never guess. I just heard the greatest news. The Pope's been arrested for pedophilia. And I'm like, that's 100% untrue. But
So you should phone her and ask her if she wants to bet $1,000 whether or not Trump will be in office
Hey guys.
in August 15th.
James,
how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
Now? Where are you? Are you in the kitchen?
How are you? Yeah,
I'm
where are
in
you?
Sable Beach.
Oh,
Nice.
he's there. That's James DeFiore checking in because he's sequestered with
right.
Mike Bullard to write his book.
What
so
could go
James has been asked to write Mike Bullard's book.
No way. Awesome.
Yeah.
Co-write.
Co-write.
It should be fine. Everything.
You're one of the better writers I've ever met, James. I look forward to this. I'm not just saying that. I mean that.
You haven't
You're,
met many writers, have you?
I've met some really decent writers in this business. You run across your writing there's something unique about it. I'm not wrong, am I, Dean?
No, you're not wrong. You're a great writer. One of the best I've ever met.
There's a feel to what it is you do, and I can almost. I've read a lot of your shit now, your articles and stuff like that, and there's almost if you didn't have your name on it, I bet you I could tell it was you. There's this sort of angst that comes through in your writing that I like. I don't know, that I associate with. I think.
Well, I'm
not just saying that.
That's a weird thing what you're saying is true. The angry part, like I don't know what it is about anger that makes me just write better than when I'm happy, but I'm a typical writer. I can't be happy and write. It sucks. So
It's a good thing you chose writing for an occupation. Then, if you can't be happy and write,
Get lots of hours.
I chose the right wife is really the key to everything.
Just to keep you in that state of being unhappy. You mean?
That's right. That's
You
right.
also
Yes.
may have chose the right client for this next project too.
Yeah.
God.
So this whole book, like you were asked to write this book with Bullard based on the interview that we did with Bullard, correct?
Sort of. To be perfectly honest with you, I hustled the deal. Like I approached the publisher and I said, like he was on. No, everyone else is ignoring him. His story's pretty compelling. I sort of relayed the story back to him, and then I just sort of, planted the seed that maybe he needs a co-writer just because it's like so personal that maybe like it should be in his voice, but probably he should maybe get some help with it or whatever. And then Bullard told the publisher, if James isn't the co-writer, fuck off. And then they gave us the deal.
So I see how you massage that.
Yeah, totally.
No, what I think he's saying, what James was kind of saying is that he suggested the book because he was looking for the work and he hustled the whole deal together, and then he's inserted himself in the process. Am I not mistaken?
I think that's
fucking
pretty
awesome.
accurate. Like, I don't know, and are we supposed to lift the curtain like that and tell how we got deals? But like basically the thought going in was maybe I can get a book deal.
Yeah.
And then I went under the auspice of maybe I can get Bullard a book deal. But the funny thing about that is that I called Mike and I'm like, hey Mike, good news. The publisher said, yeah, you guys can do a co-write. That's fine by me. And he still called the publisher and was like, make sure you fucking make the Fury the co-writer or I'm out. And I'm like, Mike, he just fucking said that before you called. I told you already. He's like, oh, I'm Irish. He always says that when he gets angry. He's like, oh, I'm Irish. And I'm like, well, then drink.
Hey, quick.
Hey, Archie Bunker.
That was
Stevie
my
Laugh.
biggest thing.
Quick
When
question.
I met Bullard,
Quick question.
you don't drink? What's wrong with you? You're
That might
Irish.
be what's wrong with him.
Is he there yet? Is
No,
he there
I'm
yet?
expecting the motorcycle to start doing
Anytime.
wheelies
Okay.
and donuts. So.
Real quick question. Speaking of donuts, there isn't a Tim Hortons nearby, is there?
I've already called
Just in
ahead. and
case
asked
this
them to
goes
put
bad.
aside- I already called ahead and asked him to put aside some emergency crullers just in case.
Jesus. You know what
He's
you
like,
should
yeah,
do?
we'll take them out of the mouse traps since no one else eats them.
You know what?
Right?
You know what you should do, James? And you don't have to do this, but if you do choose to do this, make sure you roll a little video. You should put together like a total GIMP costume, ball gag, slather yourself in oil, and when he comes to the door, just stand there.
How quickly
Don't
can you,
say
how
anything.
quickly
With
can
a
you
full
ship,
erection.
how quickly can you ship yours to me? Welcome.
Yeah, dude, I love this
Might be a
idea.
bit late.
Hey, yeah, go get your ball gag out, put it in your mouth, answer the door, and say, "It's time." That's
All
all
leather.
you have to say when he gets.
This was in the contract.
And then go and get a box of 15 crullers and
You
say,
need to be glazing though.
"Someone's not coming out of this alive."
Oh, those crullers are unglazed. Bring them over to your gimpy.
It's time to glaze the donuts, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, good for you. So you're writing Mike Bullard's official memoir. That's
Yeah, we have to do 2
fantastic.
chapters by in a week. And I think actually we're probably gonna get to 4. I hope. I don't know what his process is like. I'm kind of
Hey,
hoping
listen,
I just
you
take
hung
over.
out with Mike a little bit, and we've had him on the podcast. Do you think he
I
has a
don't know
book
if there's
writing
a-
process?
The guy sits down to pee. I think you're on your own, buddy.
How long are you there with him, James?
a week. And his lawyer's coming too for a few days.
He's gonna regret not bringing the ball gag.
So
I already regret it, and I didn't even know about it until like 2 minutes ago.
So wait, you don't drink anymore, but you've probably got a couple 100 pounds of cannabis and some shrooms. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Mike doesn't drink or do drugs of any variety. And his lawyer is going to be there. That sounds like a fucking great time. Who are you going to hang out with this whole time? Like, are you just going to get high by yourself?
No.
What are you going to do?
So my process will be, I get up at 5:30, 6 every morning anyways. I'm going to get up. I hope they sleep in because I really value my mornings.
I love how he called it a process. My process will be like this. I'm just asking, who are you going to do drugs with? I'm not asking about your process.
I
don't care how you write
about
books.
what time you get up.
I don't
I'm
care
going to do
about
drugs
outlines.
with this guy. That's who. This guy.
And me.
That's who I do drugs with anyways. I live in Killaloo, dude.
That's true.
We can FaceTime, James. I'll do some shrooms with you or smoke a joint with you at any time.
Hey,
Okay.
oh, by the way, free phone calls from Locke too. If you need to chat with anybody, you can call me at any time.
Okay.
I always enjoy our one-on-one chats, James.
I do too, actually.
Even when you're stoned.
By the way, yesterday I was being a dick when I texted you after the show and was like, if you need to talk, let me know. Okay, buddy?
Here's the thing. We had Dean on this morning, and I was in shock that someone guessed it. And then the other thing with the Dean guessing Jimmy's fetish from the locker room here in Edmonton, 95.7 Cruise FM, the locker room, weekday mornings. The other thing was that Dean stopped and went, "Oh, I know what it is."
Yeah.
Big pause, and then nailed. And I'm like, what the hell? We've literally, and I swear to God, it was 2018 Super Bowl that we found out that week, literally Tuesday morning, we were on the air talking about it. We came up with the idea that we weren't going to tell anybody and would never reveal it until somebody guessed. Every 3 months, maybe even more, we have a full Jimmy fetish show where people just text and guess, and nobody once has gotten it. And Dean just goes and pulls it out of his ass, and I'm like, "What? That's why I was in so much shock."
I know
right?
where it came from. I know where Dean got it from. I think Dean was looking at a phone keyboard and was like, okay, what's near you? Because it's got to be something that he misdialed when he was trying to type Uber. But then maybe the P's not close to the U. I can't. Oh, wait, it's right there.
No,
It is.
No, not at all.
Was
Not
it
at
the
all. That's
diaper? Was it the diaper thing? And then you just weighed word association from diaper to
pregnancy?
pregnant?
No, it was alphabetical because I went from like bondage, which was B, to domination, and I was going through a list of
You
alphabetical
missed cuckolding.
kinks.
I just want to say
No, I didn't. I started with that one, cuckolding. That was like one of the first 2 or 3 that I started with.
Stopped and then
then I
jumped to it.
Because when I saw pregnancy fetish, I was like, it's got to
maybe
be
he's
it.
onto something. Look at that.
That's got to be it. And sure enough, that's his kink. His kink is
Wow.
pregnancy chicks are pregnant. He loves the form of a female who's expecting a child. I'm on the opposite end of that scale.
Yeah,
I don't find any of that attractive because I've been through the experience of watching that whole thing. But a guy like Jimmy, I think it is a thing. And I did a little research into pregnancy fetishes last night, just so everybody knows. A lot of people that have pregnancy fetishes really want to have families.
And he is desperately that guy. Like
there you go.
He's in his
weird
40s and has never had a long-term girlfriend. Like it's unfortunate. And he's also a religious kid, right? Like I think he grew up with the idea that he would meet some young lady and then he would settle down, then they would spit out a bunch of kids, right? And it's always been a dream of his. And he's kind of got a bit of a tragic story. I don't know if I've told you this, but and I think part of the reason why he's got such a hang up with the ladies is because his first one ended very tragically. So he was in the Calgary Children's Hospital quite a bit when he was younger. He had that, I always screw it up, the swelling of the brain. Hydrocephalus. Yes. So that's why he has the shunt. And that it has nothing to do with him being a little person or a midget. This is just a thing that happened to him. And they misdiagnosed him. And that's part of the reason why he spent so much time in the hospital. They thought he had epilepsy at first because he was having seizures, but it was actually this. And then, after the shunt and everything like that, it all calmed down. While he was in the children's hospital, he met a young lady and fell in love with her. And she had cystic fibrosis. And then she passed away. So he lost his first love at a young age. That's really sad. Yeah. And the kid has never, I don't know if he's ever recovered from it, to be honest with you. And he's very, very, very clumsy around the female women, the gender. And
I must get absolutely triggered around a hot pregnant woman.
Well, he should also know. He should also know that it's probably better to have your girlfriend die than to break up with you, right?
I'll let him know, James. That'll make him feel better.
Yeah, I'm totally kidding. Well, it's harder because she might be fucking somebody else. You know that that girl isn't.
Dude, I went and had dinner with some friends of mine last week.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
And no, it's okay. All of these guys are either divorced or with new wives or have new wives in the past several years. So my one friend, let's just call him Steve. I come in, haven't seen Steve in a while. Steve, give a big hug. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Good, Dean. Great to see you. I'm like, we sit down. He pours a drink. I get a soda water. We're just shooting the shit. I'm like, how's your new girlfriend? He finishes taking a drink of his drink and he goes, she's dead. But thanks for asking.
Good job.
Wow.
Good job.
And I looked over at my friend. I won't say his name. We'll say his name's Mike. I look over at Mike and I'm like, and he's like, way to go.
How the fuck were you supposed to know?
Yeah, exactly, though.
Way to go.
Normally, when wives die in your circle of friends, you find out about it, Dean. So this might be on you. Just saying.
Well, then he says to me, Dino, it's okay because we broke up prior to her dying.
Oh, there you go.
It makes it way better.
He got a twofer. Well done.
To James's point.
A twofer.
Wow.
Jeez, there's James's point. Stamping the passport to hell.
Wild jokes. Why do you guys overreact a little bit? Just a little bit. What's a little bit of misogyny humor, guys? Come on.
It's not the worst.
So Lachlan, how come you can't do help your poor little fella out there and let's get him a dating game on the locker room or something and find this guy some true love? Isn't that a
Dean can attest to this. That doesn't work.
That's not great radio.
That's not
great radio. The best thing to do for him is to continue to make him feel like $1 million and try and coerce him into spending money on professional women. That's it.
Actually, to that point, we were planning a trip to Vegas a couple years ago.
So, to get him laid?
Yeah. And then his buddy took him down to Chicago literally 2 months, 3 months before we did. I was literally saving money. And we were planning.
You're a good friend.
We were planning on it. He was in his 40s. He was still a virgin, right? I'm sure he loves having this conversation, like
Why the
aired
fuck
out.
are you
But
telling us this?
we talk about it.
He's probably sitting there watching
it.
it as in his apartment right now, looking at his boss, talking about him being a virgin in his 40s.
I am not his
going,
Hey
boss.
guys, you want
We
to
are
see my
friends
friend
and
Lachlan's
coworkers.
podcast? Hey, we'll tune in right now and see what they're saying.
Little buddy James P. White. I was gonna. You gotta nail this down, right? And it happened before I had a chance to make it happen. But here's the thing with Jimmy, I don't want to hook him up with somebody that listens to the show that's getting into it from the perspective of
just to be
being
that
a
person.
fan, right? I want Jimmy to legitimately meet someone, fall in love with the little fucker, and and then that I don't want to be. If I get involved, it'll just make it weird. Right?
Jimmy needs to, like everybody else who's in a relationship, be allowed to go forward, procure a relationship, and go through the same miserable experiences that everybody else goes through in a relationship.
Right?
Yeah. See what I'm saying, Bonzi?
And then sell all this shit, buy a van, and
people?
travel around North America.
For sure there is. There's dating apps for little people.
Lava lump.
The problem was he doesn't like little people.
Oh, he likes larger women?
He
like
likes
taller
likes the big girls. So
do you say regular size people, or do you call them big people to him?
No, because
does he call regular size people bigs? Does he call them bigs?
I don't know what he calls me, a dick, all the time. I don't know what he calls everybody else.
He calls me a dick all the time. Sir, James, you came into the conversation after we talked about it, but have you gotten your tickets for Donald Trump's second inauguration in August yet?
Man, I'm missing out. Is it $1,200?
Yeah. Take some of that Mike Bullard book money you stole from those guys.
Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So
you are
it.
or aren't going?
No. Well, I would go for the spectacle just to see the dummies that show up.
Yeah,
I would.
Somebody wants to know how the bus is, Bonzi.
Yeah, well, the bus has a little bit of a ding in her now, if you will. More than that, actually. I need
What'd you
3
back
doors.
into?
I didn't back into anything. So what happened was,
hold it. You what? You didn't back in anything? So what's this?
I thought you backed into something.
Looks like you backed into something.
No. So
looks like you hit something.
I fucking did hit something. Yeah, I hit a ginormous boulder.
Are you upset about it? You seem upset that you hit something.
Yeah, I am. You're damn right.
Well, why are you mad at us? You hit it. We're just bringing it up. I don't know why you're getting pissed at us.
Because I didn't back into anything.
That's good, eh? It looks like you did. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but so let me tell the story. I was driving down the road. The nice lady at the campground drew a map. She goes, "You go here, you fill up with water, you go down, around, and then when I got to that point, I'm going around this crazy corner. So this boulder is on my left side, okay, and that's the piece of the bus at the bottom of the boulder, and that white is the nice mark I left. Yeah.
Did you not see the grass beside the boulder?
Yeah.
So listen, dude.
Those boulders, they can attack at any given moment. So
yeah,
that boulder came out of nowhere. So it was 10 yards inside the road.
That boulder was sitting there for at least 20,000 years waiting for you.
It was.
It wasn't.
It was.
It jumped out at him.
So I'm coming out. You have to picture this, and I should have sent you the video, Dean. But I'm coming around a corner like this. Okay.
Yeah.
And on the right side of the bus is a car, an RV trailer, and the road is like on a slant like this as you're coming around this way. And I was this close to the car and the RV, trying to avoid that, and I felt like I was going to tip. Okay, so I'm hyper focused on the front of the bus. And as I'm going around and I think, fuck yeah, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And I'm like, come on. And I look at my left mirror and there said boulder. So that's actually about halfway down the bus. And I buckled. As you can see, the frame is all bent in it. 3 doors. So that's 1 door, 2 door. And then there's a 3rd door that now will not open. And needs, I got a quote for $10,000.
Whoa!
In damages.
Sorry.
Hey, wait a second,
I shouldn't be laughing.
aren't you in Boulder right now?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just outside of Boulder. I'm right downtown Denver.
That would have been
Everybody loved
ironic.
that joke,
That would have
though.
been great.
You guys are all fucking hilarious.
Hey, if you lift up that rock, Bondezee, you might find your soulmate.
I doubt it.
Okay, so listen, how do you not see this rock?
So, because, like I said, I was hyper focused on
yeah.
making it around the corner, and
Paying attention to something else.
I was, and I
Yeah.
was hyper focused, and it's a driver error. It really is. I should have looked.
Hold it though, but like after this whole thing happened, you sent me a bunch of pictures and you were furious and you blamed the lady in the store that told you to go up there. And now you're telling me it's driver error. I like this. You're coming around.
Well, no, listen, it's both, because I should have never ever been there, and she knows it. She fucked up. She admitted it. She's like, if I was wealthy, I would give you 10 grand. She knew. She just had a fucking breakdown. She actually thought I was in a shorter. She got people mixed up, is what happened to the lengthwise.
So
And
you're
that's why
saying, hold it. You're saying the owner of a campground, the manager of a campground, doesn't have 10 grand to pay for your bus tours?
she I know. Anyway, she felt
I
horrid.
work here
And
for the free trailer rent. Okay,
so I got free rent for the entire. I was there 7 nights. They comped everything. And they're all super great people, very, very apologetic and sympathetic to the whole deal, even the owner. But it's one of those things. It was,
How big is this rock?
it's pretty big. Where that picture doesn't do it justice, but it's a pretty big boulder. I mean,
It looks like it. Like
it didn't.
and then I'm looking at the damage you did to your car, your bus, and it's like this thing must have been like when you hit it, you must have kept going.
Yeah.
And dragged this rock all along the side of your bus. And like after the first 3 seconds of like incredible noises, would you not go, I think I need to stop the bus?
No,
So-
just keep going. Pull through.
No, so listen, I did stop right away, but you have to take into account I'm going down a slope that's pretty steep and around a corner at the same time. So when I hit it, I heard it right away. Of course, I hit the brakes, and I wasn't even going that fast. You couldn't. And I had the engine brake on too, the Jake brake. So as soon as I hit it, it was just that kind of momentum thing of 56,000 pounds still going down the hill a little bit. So yeah, it still did precede me down just a little bit. And then, I'm hammered on the brakes.
Yeah.
Put it in reverse, back it up. And then I had to do a whole lot of these back and forth to make it around that boulder, not hit the RV. And I managed to do that. Crazily enough. And you know what? The fucking story gets worse here, okay? The lady fucked up this bad. As I go, so she goes, okay, you come around that corner where I smashed the boulder.
Yeah.
Then she goes, okay, so you come down the road, go back down, and then you hang a right into your road where your campsite is. You can't fucking make the turn from up there in a 45-foot bus. But I tried, because it was on the map, and I figured she knew. So I only did not do damage on that side of the bus, boys. The other side is damaged too, but very minorly. You can hardly notice it. It is going to need a new skin on the one door. But anyways, then I had to back up again, go all the way down to the bottom of the mountain to the road where it meets the main road, spin the bus around, and come back up and swing in. It was a crazy day. And the worst part was, the only reason I went up to get up that to the top where she sent me was to get fresh water on the bus. So you hook up the hose, you got fresh water to shower, wash your dishes, whatnot. There was a fucking tap. I could have parked my bus at my RV site that I was numbered at and ran my 50-foot hose to a tap and filled up the fucking bus. But she didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
So anyways, one of those things. I will accept some responsibility, but
I think you should probably accept all of it.
I won't. No, fuck that. I would have never. I shouldn't have been up there. I should have never been told to go up there.
No offense. You've never driven a bus before. You go down, you buy one. 3 months later, you're bombing around and you ran into a rock because you're not used to driving a 45-foot bus. And by the way, 56,000 pounds is impressive. And I know how much you love saying every time you're on the podcast, you operate a vehicle that's 56,000 pounds.
I don't
is
say
impressive.
it every podcast.
What? Does he not say it almost every podcast?
Come on.
We also hear about your
56,000 pounds.
microdosing every podcast.
Yeah. Oh,
too.
yeah. I'm surprised we haven't learned about that again today.
I'm just answering the questions you asked me, you fuckers.
So can you put, like these are the storage doors to your tour bus, right?
Sean's
Yeah.
like, I told you shouldn't have done the shrooms before you went up the hill.
I didn't see. I'm not getting any of the comments on my screen for some reason. So, but it was funny because that
Probably
day
a good thing.
I just did the podcast with you. I was in a great mood. I didn't smoke weed that morning because I knew I was driving up into the mountains, and I got there safely. I got there safely.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even believe that, and I couldn't take
Bondezee,
footage.
you're protesting. You're protesting your accident. All
I'm
you
not
did was hit
protesting my
Yeah,
accident.
you did. You hit a rock. You ran into a stationary rock that hasn't moved for tens of thousands of years with your bus because you're new to driving a bus. That's all you had to say.
because I
And you
got
ruined the
told
car
to go.
doors.
I got told to go to a place I had no right being.
Yes, but on the way to that place, there was this rock, and you made a judgment call,
Massive.
and then you hit the rock.
I think it's time for
No,
another
I
trip
didn't
to
make a
Nicaragua for more ayahuasca.
I'm looking forward to going down there. I'm going in the next couple of months, actually.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. Hopefully you get your bus fixed in the same time frame.
Yeah, we'll get it fixed. It's all covered under insurance.
Take your machete.
For now,
If they watch this podcast, do you think your insurance will still cover it?
yes, they would.
They just don't want him to go into a detailed explanation about what happened. They'd rather just take his word for it.
Yeah.
Anyways, the doors are
shut up,
secure.
take the check.
The first 3 go all the way through, so I still have access to everything that's in there.
All right. So you're good.
So we're good.
Yeah. Because that's what's going to happen, right? The insurance adjuster is going to come out. Bonzi's going to get into that detailed explanation that we just got.
He's
and
gonna
5
write a
minutes
check.
into it, they'll be smarter than us. And they'll go, here's 50 grand. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I was just
I haven't
answering
had
the
a drink in
questions I was
15
asked.
years, but I'm going to the bar.
I know, buddy. I know. I know, but there is a lot of details in that story. Like
Sorry.
a lot of details.
To be
Minutia.
fair to,
We like to call it minutia.
to be fair to Bonzi, he's still dealing with his Texas hangover, probably, right? So, how long does it take to get over?
Well,
a month in
look,
Texas?
Bonzi, you
Way
look
better.
100% better than you did a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
When we were joking about you looking like you were hosting a beheading video, you had the sunken eyes, the gaunt, your
Gray
skin looked awful.
Hey, you
just
know
had
when we
this
were
look
making
of
those
shock on your face?
You know when we were making those prisoner of war jokes?
Yeah.
You look nothing like that anymore. You look great.
I'm glad. I feel better. I mean, it is what it
Now
is.
you look like the guy that goes and visits his cousin in jail, right?
No, dude, listen, these are all these are great stories. You've done an incredible job. I hate to keep showing you these pictures, but this is just shit that
Every
happens,
time
right?
you show
it
up in my
happens.
feed, I get a
Shit that happens.
little moment of joy every time I see
Yeah.
you in my Twitter feed.
I'm glad, Locke. I'm glad.
Me too.
I love you,
because what you're doing is something that we all wish we were doing, and we're giving you the gears because
Tripping with
we
Bondezee.
don't have the balls to do what you're doing. So,
Absolutely
just so
not.
You know.
No,
Yeah.
it's been a great experience. Still looking back, I think about it every day. You idiot, you sold your house. What were you thinking? You're down here doing this thing. But listen, it's just who I am, and I've always been.
Just
this way.
listen. I'm not saying I would do it or it was smart. But what I'm saying is, good for you because we all just want to fucking take off sometimes, and you just literally took off.
Bonzi,
Yeah.
do you have
Beautiful.
a pile of money at home that you
Beautiful.
don't have access to on the road so that you don't blow your life savings?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
good. Can you
Yeah.
tell me where it is?
No. Dogecoin.
Do you want your book written?
Yeah. Can I
Yeah,
write you a
dude.
book?
Yeah, definitely. I got stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Really?
do. Dude, he was Bondezee was almost broken into the other day too. He didn't tell you this story. He almost fucking died. Someone tried to kill him.
Yeah. They wanted a
Yeah.
piece of the Bondezee. Look how
Yeah.
they tried to
Someone
They
tried to
tried to
break
take
into
it
his
off.
fucking place. Seriously.
my place of dwelling. Yep, for sure.
And
in-
it sucked because all
in
of
the
his
van?
protective gear is in there. So
Yeah, everything. My entire life is in there that I kept. There's a few things stored at my parents' house, but everything else is here. All my recording equipment, guitar, microphones, 2 laptops. Shouldn't be telling everybody this, but
Yeah.
it's all on that. Too late now.
Do we have
I'm
a
currently
detailed
20
list?
minutes outside of Boulder, Colorado at a KOA campground.
There's a big
yeah, so-
dent in the side of the van.
I don't know.
Someone's trying to kill me.
Ontario plates. I have 4 laptops, $4 million worth of equipment, and a whole bunch of shrooms. So anyway, don't come find me. Thank you.
Montana plates, by the way.
Don't tell people that, dude.
Oh, yes. Is what it is. It's we're beyond the point now.
Are
But
you
yeah,
scared though? Like, are you scared that someone tried to break into your spot?
I'm not scared. I know that bus is really hard to get into. There's 2 ways in. The door, which
three
is
now,
like
but
crazy deadbolt, and it's locked up at night. I've never been scared on the bus, even when that weirdo was knocking on the door in that Walmart parking lot. The only other way in is a tiny little window beside the driver's seat, and it only opens about yay much. Like my fat ass ain't get through. Locke's fat ass ain't. Dean's isn't either. James, you look a little skinnier. You might get through there, but somebody tried to jimmy the window open, and they really put in a good effort. I don't know. You don't have the picture, Dean? Did I sent it to you? No.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad. Let me get it for you.
Well, I'm just saying it would be a little better visual to what we're talking about. Anyway, somebody went through great lengths to try and pry this window open. I don't know when it was. I'm guessing it was about a month ago or 3 weeks ago, because I've been on that bus. Now, it could have happened when I was on the bus at a campground, but usually those places are pretty safe and cameras everywhere. I'm thinking it maybe happened while I was golfing, or I was just on there sleeping and I didn't hear them. But my dog's pretty, he's an amazing guard dog. So these people would have had to get a ladder or a step stool of some sort to even get up high enough to try and pry the window open.
What about a milk crate? Would a milk crate have worked?
A milk crate would have worked, yeah.
What about a small chair?
Yeah, that would have worked.
Series of books?
Yeah, all of the above. Anyways, you would have needed something to get that high.
Hey,
Mike Bullard's temper.
2x4s? 2x4s in a series of particle board?
So if he gets that window open, can he pop open a door and get in, or does he have to squeeze his skinny ass through the window?
He's got to squeeze his skinny ass through the window. There's no unlock of that door. It's a deadbolt. Yeah.
Maybe it was a hot babe looking for you. Maybe someone answered your Tinder.
I would like
Middle
to
of
go
nowhere.
with that more than somebody trying to break in. I mean, I am on Tinder, and pretty hot commodity. Got a 45-foot bus, 56,000 pounds, by the way, if you didn't know.
Like I said,
yeah, we know.
Can I just say this out loud for all the female members of the audience listening? Never meet a guy in a campground in a van.
It's a bus.
Off Tinder.
In a park.
Why not? That's the best adventure they'll ever have.
Let me send you my location. Don't do it.
Smart.
This doesn't even have anything to do with Bondezee.
No.
Just
words to live by.
Ladies safe, right?
Yeah,
please.
Exactly.
Thank God my kid is passed out cold while we're doing this podcast.
Is he in the room with you? Yeah.
Come knock on the bus that's got about $10,000 worth of damage on the side of it. I'll let you in.
And a couple of laptops and a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, there's no money. I don't carry cash. I'm all cards. But
that's not what you told me on the phone last week. You told me you had a bunch of money in the toilet above the toilet.
There's you can't do an upper decker on the toilets in a bus.
Yeah. The guy that won't take the vaccine trusts banks.
I didn't say I trust banks either, mister. Right.
I know.
Hey, dude, are you going to go, though? Are you going to go to this? The second inauguration of
Trump?
I'll
be in California. That's too far. I'm not driving all the way back up here.
I took that
It's
week
in
off.
front of the Capitol steps, and they're charging tickets somehow. Like what?
Easy.
Easy. They're just going to cordon off the Capitol steps and try to charge people money on the way in. That'd be hilarious, man. Okay.
Anyway, thanks for doing this, guys.
Yeah, blast. I'm just glad you didn't blast me. I'm glad you didn't blast me about the vaccine the whole entire program like you did the past 2 or 3. So this was a step.
Did you send today? Bonzi, did you get that thing I sent you? The side effect thing? That's so funny.
Was hilarious.
I think it's old too. I think it's from last year, but I forgot about it.
I've seen that. That's a different version though, because that one has about 3 or 4 different accents through it.
Should we play it?
Which is good.
Should we?
I don't know.
Yes, play it. Play it as an example of things that some people might find controversial. We're not endorsing it. We're just going to play it so the audience can decide. Right?
Good setup, Jimmy.
I'll say it first. I think it's fucking hilarious. Okay, you guys don't have to back me up. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I do too. But because we live in the world we live in,
I don't live in that world.
Because
no, you don't, James.
Because it had just instantly struck me as racist. That's why I might have a hard time.
For
with it.
fuck's sakes.
No, I'm serious.
No, it's not racist.
Listen,
at
Is it
all.
not?
No, it's not, because you want to know.
It totally is.
We're now conditioned to think that stuff like that is racist because somebody one day woke up and was like, you know what? A white guy does the voice of Apu for the last 25 years. I've decided it's racist. And they broke down Hank Azaria since then. He was like, I was just doing a voice. It's a character. I wasn't meaning anything by it. It's just a character. It's a pretty decent accent, pretty, And then they broke him. And then finally he's like, I feel so bad that I didn't feel guilty these 25 years of doing Apu. And it's like, you talk to Indian people straight up and they're like, I think it's hilarious. And that's the fucked up thing, is that that's people that
generally the case.
That's always the
for
case.
all of these situations, James. It doesn't mean it isn't racist, though.
Of course it does, because the people that decide if it's racist are the people that belong to the race that's being like poked fun at or whatever.
Play it, Bondezee.
She
Have
got
you heard
stuck
it?
in a full lie. Like it's fine, guys. It's fine. Somewhere a Chinese guy is doing a Canadian accent and he's nailing it, and people should be laughing at that.
That's
right?
racist as well. And
I don't think
find
it
funny.
is. I don't think it is. I don't think it's right. I don't think you can do I don't think you can do minority to white racism. I don't think that actually qualifies, because we've never been downtrodden or enslaved. So that doesn't qualify.
Nothing to do with an accent. Nothing to do with
However, we do play a fun game here called Is This Racist?
I think it is.
Yes.
Play it.
So I think it's a great thing. If we're going to play another round of Is This Racist, this comes from James. Surprisingly, this comes from James, and it's just one of those funny little things everybody sends around to people personally, but refuse to put on social media for fear that they could be deemed racist. So here's the question. Is this
Reasons
racist?
why I won't take the vaccine.
Hey, bro. Also wanted to let you know that I was in New York this weekend for a wedding, and I got the vaccine, but it was the less researched Chinese one. But they said that so far they haven't seen any side effects. But if I see any side effects, then I'll definitely let you know. But as of right now, there's nothing that I can see that's a side effect for the vaccine. So if you would like to get one, I can make you an appointment. No problem. Hope everything is okay with you, and have a good day. Okay, bye.
That's the greatest. Oh, what would be the best ever if we found out that the guy that did the recording was a Chinese guy impersonating a white guy at the beginning and then just doing his voice at the end. Then all these white liberals would be like, I don't know what to do. It's not racist, but it is racist, clearly. But now that I see him, it's not. Like they're gonna get it's not racist.
It's not racist to me. I think it's funny. It's good humor. I miss that kind of
surprise.
stuff.
That's not racist to Bondezee. Shocker.
Bondezee, don't worry.
Either. Why are you picking on me?
To the guy that's trying to get women to come to his campsite.
Racist women are probably really good in bed, Bondezee. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
I'm not worried.
Like the girl that owns the trailer park, I'm sure she drops N-bombs on the regular. You might as well just,
I'm pretty sure, guys. I'm fairly certain that
on the comment section, are people weighing in on whether or not they find that racist?
It'd be nice if they did, so you can see how many people agree with me and think you guys are yutzes.
And me.
Yes, just listed off the podcast. Tisk. Yeah, I would love to know if people find this racist. Comment if you like.
Okay, let me ask you a question, James. If you were in my shoes and
should we hear it one more time though?
Let's hear it one more time, and then I'll ask James the question.
Do you think we need to hear it again?
I do.
Well, I
want to see. I want to see Bean trying not to.
She got stuck.
Have a seizure.
Just to make sure.
I don't think it's racist.
Hey, don't be like that.
It's all delivery too. You can't just be sloppy about it.
You know what it is? It's not that it's not Wade says, quote, I find it hilarious.
That doesn't mean it's not racist, Wade.
But some racist jokes are playful. Like a friend of mine said a joke once, and it was something like, my mother really hates my Mexican girlfriend because whenever she parks her car, it makes it harder for her to garden.
Oh my God.
Because Mexicans park their cars on the lawns, apparently. And it's funny. I don't know. The Mexican girl thought it was funny. Like, that's what I mean.
I had a really close native friend. I used to drink with him all the time, and he used to call me Honky. And every time he called me honky, I would laugh. I would be crying. I don't know why. It was funny, but it was also his delivery, see, right?
See, there you go.
But the N word, but the N word is.
Thought you were being racist there for a second. It's just delivery.
But that's like an N word conversation, because honky and N word are not equals, right? N word is like the granddaddy of racial.
I wasn't comparing the two. I was just saying. I was just commenting on the delivery of this piece. Play it again. I want to hear this again.
Yeah, and I do want everybody to pay special attention to the fact that nobody is being negative or portraying people negatively, large groups of people, as worse people, better people, smarter people. No one's doing that. What they're doing is they're joking around about the Chinese CCP vaccine, which is the communist-made vaccine, almost to say that because the Communist Party of China lies their dicks off, that there are no side effects. This guy's sort of saying, hey, listen, these guys are liars. There are side effects. And it's kind of a funny, cute joke.
This is the best one of the version of these.
There's a bunch of them. Yeah, a bunch of people have done these.
Hands down, this is the best one.
But this one this one's got to be the runaway
Reasons why
favorite.
I won't take the vaccine.
Sorry.
Hold on, I just got to prepare myself for the race.
Hey, bro. Also wanted to let you know that I was in New York this weekend for a wedding, and I got the vaccine, but it was the, I guess, the less researched Chinese one. But they said that so far they haven't seen any side effects. But if I see any side effects, then I'll definitely let you know. But as of right now, there's nothing that I can see that's a side effect for the vaccine. So if you would like to get one, I can make you an appointment. No problem. Hope everything is okay with you, and have a good day. Okay, bye.
Have a good day. Okay, bye.
It got better and better. Like, that's what makes that so beautiful.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Now, let me ask you a question. I shouldn't be asking James this question, because I already know how he's going to answer this, because he doesn't want to lose his foothold on this position here.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Hosting a morning show. Doesn't matter where.
I would get fired immediately, but go ahead.
Okay. Would you play it?
Yeah, because I don't respect authority, and I'd probably get fired, but I would play it.
As long as you know that, because you'd probably get fired for playing that.
Oh, you listen, as I've said,
not even the first fictional job I've been fired from.
As I've said several times, you on the radio, and I used to say this to everybody when they would come up to me and go, "Can we do this?" I'm like, "You can do anything you want at least once."
So true,
right? Yeah. You can do anything you want one time.
I never had
the line keeps moving. No, the line's been shifting for years.
I'll say this. I can only tell you that only because of how I'm wired, and I'm wired very differently than I used to be wired. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have ran that bit into the ground and thought that was the greatest thing in the world. They're called bits, by the way, on the radio.
Yeah.
Now I hear that and I go, someone's getting fired.
Can't play that.
Someone's getting fired.
I've told you
and it's only because I'm not Asian. So I can't do a joke about Asians, even if the joke is not racist, whether or not you say that racist joke is or isn't racist.
Okay,
I just don't, there's no upside. So I find that funny and we're having a fucking great time. But on traditional sources, that you can't play that lock. No one can. So it's identifiably racist, even though we don't think it is.
A scenario where you'd be
delivering it, you're going to be called a racist.
No, because racism has a definition that is way too broad now. But like, you know, there are jokes about race that aren't racist. They're like, they're playful jokes. They're playful jokes. The jokes that are like racist jokes that are awful are the ones that are dehumanizing. But there's other jokes like the classic joke of, you know, my cell phone. I dropped my cell phone in water, so I put it into a container of rice because eventually an Asian person would come and find it and then fix it for me. Right? Like.
See, that's not bad. That's not
racist, because it's just, what is it saying? It's saying
it is racist.
Right? Asian people
totally is racist.
You can't.
It's only racist if the
Can I tell you why?
It's only.
Can I tell you why it's racist? And I can't believe I'm the person telling you this.
Let me just say this first. It's only racist if the attributes that you are applying to the race of people are negative. eating rice and fixing electronics is not the same as being, other things
but
that
what
are
you're
like
saying
the
is-
lines moved. The
what
lines
you're
moved,
saying
James,
is-
and you missed it.
What you're saying is that you're saying all Asian people fix electronics and eat rice,
No,
which you
but
can't do.
in a
That's the
generalized
implication
sense.
in the joke.
You can't.
In a
You can't. And that was the point I was going to make. The reason why it's difficult in the world that we live in right now to have this conversation about what you can and can't do is because the line shifts a bit. Now we're in a time where if you lean on stereotypes, which was like that was fodder, that was like daily fodder for all radio personalities 10 plus years ago, myself included. But now you can't even lean on the stereotypes. I asked a Filipino contest player on the air if she worked at Tim Hortons, and I wasn't being a dick. I just asked her, and she said, no, I'm a nanny, but all my friends work at Tim Hortons, and we had a conversation. I got hauled into the office, and I got in trouble for asking her about what is an obvious stereotype. If you're Filipino, you might work at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting about what you're saying? The Filipino didn't have a problem with it, but your white boss did because a white viewer did. So isn't that really a form of...
No, I was warned that the stereotype conversation, you have to watch it, and it's a good warning.
Right.
Because
but in that case, in that example that you used, the Filipino was fine and the white boss wasn't. And that to me is weird. That's like, so the white guy is determining
that's
for
the
the
world
Filipino
we live
girl,
in, James.
No,
everyone's sitting there worried about what they can and can't say based on somebody being insulted, and half the time it's somebody being insulted for somebody else. That is unfortunately the world we live in, and if you don't wrap your head around that, you will be unemployed.
I'm already,
especially in traditional media.
But I have to, yes, that's the caveat.
Like
right?
we're talking
no one's
about,
going to hire
we're talking
me in
about
traditional media anyways. So
no, but maybe I disagree. I think you're highly employable.
Hire me at your own fucking
highly employable, but for how long? There's the question.
Like a week. I won't get past the probationary period.
Here's where people go wrong. I agree with you. I don't think you would either.
I don't want to work for a fucking.
I think you would. You would pull a full on Better Call Saul Goodman.
Can I tell you a quick story?
You would sabotage every part of your gig.
Yes.
An hour into it, you would be like, I'm uncomfortable and I need to get the fuck out of here.
Guys, in my 20s and 30s, I used to walk around downtown Toronto, right around where I lived. And whenever I would see a camera crew out doing like segment work, I would make a beeline to it and I would try my best to provide good content. I almost saw it as a screen test, right? So one time I'm sitting in a bar, and I think I made this joke on the podcast once, but one time I was sitting in a bar. It was the Black Bull, actually. It was on the patio, and this camera crew came up, and they were live, and they wanted to make a point to tell us that they were live, and I was like, big mistake, right? So they were talking about Tiger Woods, and it was when he got caught, I guess, with all the porn stars and stuff, and then there was something else. There was a controversy after that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but anyways, they were talking about Tiger Woods and they put the microphone in my face asking me something about it. And I'm like, to be honest, I think we should just like supply him with enough hookers and porn stars to get his game back again. And they were like, oh God, we have to go. And then the camera lady came up to me after that and like, how could you do that? You knew that we were live. And I'm like, that's why I did that. Like, you know.
Yeah, it was too much for me. I had the ability to do it. There was an opportunity there to make a fool out of everybody and make it uncomfortable, and I took it. I identify with that. Yeah, the difference between you and me and everybody else is that most of us have a governor that says don't do that, but you don't.
I murdered that guy when I was 6. That governor that lived in my head.
I thought I was that guy, and you make me make me look like a kindergarten teacher.
Can I say this to end the racial stereotype conversation? Is that little prank, that little kind of fun little viral meme that we heard, it qualifies as racist.
Absolutely.
We can find it humorous. We can find it cute. We don't have to perpetuate the meanness, or we don't have to perpetuate any kind of racial stereotype with it. But I can tell you this, is that makes me uncomfortable on a mass appeal level. Like when I hear
white people, that's white guilt. That's white guilt.
No. It makes me uncomfortable because I run a business. right? It's very different. Like we can sit and I want to have conversations about whether or not things are racist, whether or not things are woke, whether or not things are right, whether or not they're left. I'm happy to have all those conversations. But as a business team, absolutely. As a business owner, as someone who likes to communicate with people and doesn't feel like turning off a massive group of people or having something I said misrepresented, I can tell you truthfully that is not something that I will go, hey guys, get a load of this. Isn't this hilarious? Is it funny? For fucking sure it is.
Yeah.
Like we all identify with the fact it's funny, but used wrongly, that could be pretty dangerous. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and I'll give a quick sort of example of something that happened to us the other day. And I go out of my way to try to be fun and entertaining on the show, and all three of us do. And that's our goal, right? We go in every day. We're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. And quite often, if we do, we treat it one of two ways, right? It's like, man, they need to find another show. They really do. If they find that offensive, then they need to go listen to Kissin' Country. And I am quite comfortable phoning that person and going, you need to, somebody turn this on in your car and you're on it by accident. Find another radio show because it gets worse from here. But then there are days where somebody mishears something or they think we were trying to do something or say something, and then they'll text us and they'll be a little bit angry or whatever. And I want to sort it out. My first instinct is call her quickly. What's her name? All right, Tracy. Listen, we did not mean what you think and they always appreciate that. And you know what, James? I understand you're mad at the world that we're at, where we're at right now with that. And that makes sense to me.
Because they stole all your favorite jokes.
Yeah.
No, because I don't think the world will remain like this. I think this house of cards of political correctness is actually going to fall one day because people are going to get tired of it.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you. But I will tell you, I was doing the same thing 20 years ago in this business. I was still upsetting people and still getting on the phone and calling them and going, I didn't mean what you're, and then, oh, okay, well, what did you mean? And then having a really good conversation and then going, hey, I got to go. Pearl Jam's almost over. And then sorting that out, right? It happens almost every 2-3 days on the show where I feel the need to call somebody and just say, hey, listen, I didn't mean what you think I meant. Right?
Yeah. But you know what? There's a,
James, you're stuck in the apology phase. Like the thing that guys like you and I don't like, because I'm wired a little bit like you. What we're stuck in is this, like, how could life change so quickly for us? How could things that we enjoyed and all the jokes that we loved and the things that we used to talk about and the off humor that we used to deal in, whether we made money from it or not, how could it change so quickly? And it just did. Dude, I'm amazed that Locke can say shit. Like I was on the radio with him on 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton this morning, host of The Locker Room, Edmonton, 6 to 9. That's where you can get him. Edmonton, how you doing? Big ups to Edmonton. Hi, Alberta. And he said shit on the radio live. And I'm like, whoa. However, like that shit, fuck, cock, piss, goddammit, cunt.
We don't say fuck.
Well, I know you don't, but what I'm saying is 20 years ago, unthinkable to say those things on the radio. You had to guard your words carefully, but you could deliver a series of racist jokes or jokes about Michael Jackson being a pedophile.
It's weird.
Or jokes about people killing each other, like literal jokes about people beheading each other in Mexico on Facebook. Like you could deliver all of those jokes. I used to say stuff like, that's gay.
Yeah.
Or that's retarded. You cannot say anything. And that's good. I like the progression. I like the fact that we're not hurting people with throwaways anymore. I really do.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me. I've got no issue with it. But what I'm saying is that everything has changed so fast. And for a guy like me that hasn't been on traditional radio for a few years, to know that you can say shit doesn't make me excited to get back on the radio. What makes me excited to get back on the radio, if indeed I ever do it, is being able to be successful and do that content without going into those spaces and without being racist. Because I get that now. I didn't get that then.
Listen, I actually understand the position. I'm not like saying that you guys should feel differently if you run a business and you don't want to get railroaded for something like that. I respect that. But I think that there is a lot to be. It's really all about delivery. That's why Ricky Gervais gets away with shit that nobody else gets away with. That's why Louis C.K. got away with shit, except for jerking off in front of people. I guess. But like I used to be a slam poet, and I used to have a rhyme that was called Two Horns. And the entire rhyme, every single line, I'm stereotyping one race or another, including my own, including like a bunch of white cultures and stuff. And
Please
then
don't repeat it here.
I'll
Please
just
don't
do
repeat
the first. I'll just do the first line, okay? No, listen.
Oh my
and these are the mild lines. So it starts off like this: I want to blow up the spot just like a rowdy Palestinian. Survive, drink, and drink some more like a native North American. But when you find out, when you actually like listen to all of these hardcore racist lines, you find out at the end, on the level,
you're actually really a good guy.
Worse than that. It's a lot worse. On level, I'm the white man who only said all that shit because I'm the devil. I got two horns, 1, 2, right? And so the whole thing is evil. And I did it at a club once, and this Jamaican guy was like, because the line is like, I want to shoot indiscriminately at little kids like a Jamaican. And this Jamaican guy was sitting right in front, and he's looking at me like this, and he's getting ready, and I'm like, Jesus fuck. So I'm trying to get through the piece, and when I said the last line, he stood up just before the last line. When I said the last line, he's like, come here, bud. He's like, blah, 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 blah. And he starts hugging me because he understands that was from the perspective of the most evil creature in history, the devil. And that's why all those words were said. So anyways, the context.
And the white man has two horns because he's the devil. That's what you're saying. The white man has two horns.
What?
Yeah, okay.
I got to say, the racist thing against white people being the devil, that's got to be the worst one, right? The devil. Who's worse than the devil? You call a Portuguese. I'm just saying for an example of some fucking asshole called a Portuguese girl a pig. That's still not as bad as devil, right? Devils are worse than pigs. Anyone?
Depends, I guess, on your perspective.
Come on. That was a fucking good point, you silent bastards. Okay.
I just keep thinking about how you're going to get past this need to shock people, because I think I'm like Dean. I
to be allowed to say shit. Like you're stuck in a place that I was a few years ago,
stuck.
which is hold it.
I'm happily chilling. I'm not stuck.
You're battling this. You're battling the sea change and what's acceptable and what's not. Almost like you take great pride in smashing through any new norm. Like it's like a thing for you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think
I don't have that anymore. I used
to
to have that in me. I don't have that in me anymore. I have no desire to destroy societal norms for my own entertainment. It just doesn't interest me.
Societal norms. They're the ones destroying societal norms.
This is where we get locked, right? But the thing with James is that if he can get past that, if he can move on, do another weekend of shrooms or 10, I think honestly, if I was building a radio show, and I've said this before, I would put you on that show. You're walking, moving content, and but you guys
make me feel like I'm being cheap, like I'm doing it. I'm doing it just because.
No, it's you. It's you. It's not.
So how I don't want to get rid of that. I don't listen. If I got a job on a legacy radio outlet or whatever it's called, and they were going to pay me a decent amount of money, and I had benefits, I would fucking toe the line, guys. Come on, like I fucking would.
Would you though?
No, I would slip, and eventually I wouldn't do it on purpose, but I'm just naturally kind of a dick, so it's like it would come out eventually, wouldn't it? Like. Can
I tell you guys a story?
Sure.
In the podcast, can I tell you guys a story about being a contrarian?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Thanks. I'm gonna need some classic music for this.
Where did it change for you, Dean, and why? What happened? What was the flip over?
What are you talking about?
Where you started to realize you didn't need to fight everything.
Yeah,
when he set a rapist free, that's when.
There we go again.
That's funny because it's true.
Great to see you.
I do like the truth that we sometimes shed on this show.
You're asking me if I had it. Where did what change? Where did my opinion change on what is acceptable and what isn't? Hurtful people. So you know where it came. You know what it came down to for me, and I'll tell you what it came down to for me. This is where it came down to for me. Is that I used to tell people the way it was. This is how you should look at things from my perspective. This is how things have always been, so they should always be. Yeah. This is how you should feel. This is what you should think. And I can tell you truthfully, what really changed things for me was George Floyd's murder. George Floyd's murder changed my mind in a million different ways. Not just, it wasn't like I had to like search deeply to figure out whether or not I found that acceptable. I wasn't aware that things were that bad. So I shut up. For the past 4 or 5 years, I have shut up. I've listened. I've tried to listen to people to see where they're from, to see what they've been going through, to see how they negotiate life, if they're black, if they're gay, if they're trans, if they're straight, if they're Chinese, if they're Sri Lankan. I didn't know that people's lives were that fucking hard because of the color of their skin. And I didn't realize people's lives were that fucking hard because of their sexual orientation. So what I had to do was listen and talk to people. And where I've arrived at is this, is that there are a few trillion jokes I can tell during the course of a broadcast. If one of those jokes isn't about an Asian person and stereotyping an Asian person or stereotyping a black person or stereotyping a gay person, that's okay. It's okay because that stuff hurts people. There are people who are black, who are gay, who are straight, who are drug addicts, who are alcoholics, who have things in their lives that they have to deal with that they didn't ask for, right? A black person didn't ask to be black. Gay person didn't ask to be gay. An alcoholic didn't ask to become an alcoholic. Straight person didn't ask to be straight. This is just who you are. And when we use who they are intrinsically against them, or I find that to be the most... I find that to be the most base thing you could do to someone who's hurting, that it makes me sad. Like, it makes me sad when I see people make fun of someone less fortunate. It's like when you see a little kid who's hurting and there's a video of kids walking by and yelling at him or spitting on him or pushing him to the ground. It's the same feeling I get. Like, oh my God, how can you do that to someone who's in pain? So that's why I feel the way I feel. And it wasn't that I didn't know that people were in pain. It was socially acceptable. I got paid a lot of money to deliver all of those jokes, more and more every single year. So that is someone saying to me, these jokes are acceptable. The way that you treat people is acceptable, but it's not acceptable anymore. And do I want to be that person that sends someone into like this deep, deep PTSD, depression, death spiral because I made fun of someone's sexuality and they've been living in a closet and living scared for their entire lives? No, I don't want to be that fucking guy anymore. It's not in it for me, right? So when we crack jokes about people's race or religion, whole other thing. I'll make fun of everybody's religion all day long.
That's the best.
Absolutely.
But
they've chosen they've chosen that religion, right? An amputee didn't choose to be born without an arm. A black person didn't choose to be born black, right? A gay person didn't choose their sexuality. That's just who they are. And to make them feel like they're not a legitimate individual because that's how they are, and we were taught for a couple hundred years to be assholes about that stuff, it doesn't wash with me anymore. Does that answer your question, Bondezee?
We lost Bondezee, but I think it does. You know what? I have a similar thing. I can be much quicker to it, but I'm not criticizing what you just did there, Dean. I had a moment in my early 30s where I realized, and this is the hardest lesson I've ever had to learn, that nobody gave a flying shit about my version of the truth. And then when I woke up one day and I realized that, where it was like, people actually don't think I have anything to contribute. My life has been way easier. I honestly thought I had the arrogance. I honestly thought that I was put on this planet to tell everybody what the truth was. And then I realized, hold on, it's just my version. No one gives two flying shits about it at all.
100%.
Yeah, but we are arrogant beasts. And James doesn't do it to be offensive. When you do it, you're doing it to throw it in the face of, and I wish I had a better memory, because you do it almost weekly on this podcast.
Yeah,
you're challenging the authority.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't know. I've just always been that way. I don't know what to do about it, but I think Dean's point is sound. Unfortunately, I read studies, and like the political correctness study that New York Magazine had last year. What Dean just said is really popular among white liberals, but hardly popular at all among black people and people of color. And so that's why it's weird to me. It feels like his heart's in the right spot, but the people that he's protecting are like, we don't need your protection.
He's not protecting anybody.
I'm not
James,
protecting anybody. I'm saying that I'm not entitled. I'm not entitled to an opinion about what a black man's. I'm not entitled to an opinion about a black man's life and how he lives it and what he should think about how he goes through life. My opinion on how a black person or a gay person lives their life is immutable. It doesn't matter. It's a joke. That's what I'm saying.
That's true, but you did mention you don't want to put someone in a state of PTSD, and I think the people that might be put in a state of PTSD are less likely to say they would be than white liberals who say they would. And that's what I mean. I think political correctness, if I was being intentionally controversial, I would say political correctness is a form of white supremacy. I would say that.
Well, let's end it there.
Yeah. I'm going to get a tattoo.
Political correctness is a form of white supremacy. And thank you for joining the program today, everybody. Really appreciate it. All righty, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no one knows what to say next.
I really made that. I really made that 45-minute out. That's all I know.
Yeah, you did.
I'm glad you popped in.
Yeah, no
guys.
kidding. Didn't expect you. James D. Fiore, blackballmedia.ca. He's currently sequestered in a cottage with Mike Bullard, so we'll maybe have him on the show. Good luck.
I feel like I'll be
Don't
the
let him
by the
tweet.
time the week's over.
Don't let him tweet.
This.
Dude, I'm taking his phone away. He's
Twitter.
gonna be like, where the fuck is my phone? I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
It's in my.
and since he doesn't know how to use a laptop,
Yeah.
he thought it was a
We
Foreman
can maybe
grill.
even put him on.
First time he saw his laptop, he thought it was a Foreman grill. He's like, how the fuck do I work this? It's weird.
He put a chicken breast in there just to see what would happen.
That's right.
Anyway, James, I appreciate you being here, and we'll catch
guys.
up with you later on in the week as well. Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM.
Good to see you, Lachlan.
Right there. There he is. And Lachlan Cross on Twitter, and Bondezee Live on Twitter, as well as Tripping with Bondezee on YouTube. Appreciate you being here, bud. As always, great to see you. One of the great men, Greg Bondezee Rielly. We just like to hold his feet to the fire. That's it. That's how we do it. That's it for the podcast. I legitimately feel that way about racist jokes, by the way. Not cool anymore. It's a shame because some of them are funny. Like the racist jokes our parents used to tell, you know, like in a barbershop and your dad would walk in and go, hey, John, you old Polak. And my dad, hey, you limey prick. He'd say it to my dad. And then they'd joke around about, you know, reverends and rabbis and priests. And all of it was off color. But that's the rich childhood I was treated to. What a life. Thanks to James Sharman for stopping by at James Sharman on Twitter. Footy Prime is his podcast. It's the best soccer podcast in Canada. Number one. With Danny Dickio, Dan Wong, and Brendan Nundalop, as well as our friend Craig Forrest, my friend in vaping, Craig Forrest. Appreciate James for stopping by. Thanks to Lachlan. Thanks to James D. Fiore, as well as Bondezee. You can get everything we do at deanblundell.com. Quick shout out to our sponsors, Blue Microphones at Blue Microphones on Twitter, bluemic.com online. If you podcast, broadcast, game, stream, whatever, they have everything from XLR to USB mics like this Blue Yeti X mic. You can get one too. And check out these headphones, MoFi headphones. They're the best. Grammy Award-winning headphones. I don't know if they actually made the music, but they were used in the making of the music that won some Grammy Awards. Grammy. Blue Microphones at Blue Microphones on Twitter, or bluemicrophones.com. Ed's Fine Imports and his Gitch, the number one luxury underwear boxer brief for the men in your life. You can get 4 pairs for the price of 3. Use promo code Gitch and the number 3. Go to edsfineimports.com. Order them today. Got the banana hammock at the front, the pouch, boxer briefs, nice along the leg, down mid-thigh. Perfect. The perfect underpant. That's what I call them, the perfect underpant. Gitch from edsfineimports.com. Gitch3 is your promo code. Domination.com. It's AI that we use to create content. You should do the same thing. Totally free to try. DMNTN.com. Again, DMNTN.com. Try them out today. They've created something that makes it so easy to produce content. Matter of minutes, you get like 70, 80 pieces. Try them out today. Again, DMNTN.com. And Easy Auto Financial. EasyAutoFinancial.ca. From getting financing to hooking you up with the dealer that has the car you want, they do everything. EasyAutoFinancial.ca. Log in today. Check them out. Try them for free. No obligation. Doesn't cost you a dime. and they're going to hook you up with the financing in the car. Subprime leasing, they got all that. Bad credit, they don't care. They want you, and they'll take care of everything. Stop to start. They'll do it all. If you need a vehicle, go to easyautofinancial.ca today. Thanks for joining us. You can join us at the podcast as well as get yourself on the mailing list by going to deanblundell.com. Fill out the intro there. That's it. That's it for me. That's it for us. Have a great day, everybody. 2 hours and 4 minutes. Got to be a record. We're planning on talking for 2 hours at one time at the same time. I don't really particularly enjoy it. Some people like hearing themselves for 2 hours. Not me. So that's it for us. Have a great day, everybody.